welcome to episode number 40. Number 40.
Wow.
40 for anyone from here.
But, Long Island came out there.
Yeah, every now and then it comes out, but
2 years. We've been
doing it for 2 years. Episode number 40. So this kind of ends up good because we did 24 the first year. We did 16 this year, and hopefully next year we'll do 8. The year after
keeps
that,
going down and
we'll
down.
do 4, and then from there we could stop doing it.
Just call each other.
Right.
Yeah, totally.
Sounds like you got it figured out.
I think so.
All right.
Yeah.
Somebody asked me today if I was going to drink a 40 during episode 40. So
Who the fuck asked that stupid
we'll
shit?
we'll see how that turns out.
Wow. Okay.
All right.
But anyway, today we have a guest. I wanted to bring on a talking head, and someone who also has a podcast. And I feel like sometimes we don't have enough female voices. So we had Dana on a while ago, but today we get to have Kellie from the podcast being there.
Yes, hello.
What's up?
A lot of pressure. The second female voice, It's a lot.
The only pressure was the first. Yeah, that's it. You could only,
She broke the glass ceiling already.
Yeah,
It's just,
it's done.
yeah.
You can cruise.
The much coveted Red River guest seat.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So today, I want to talk about just, I guess, the year-end special. So much stuff went on, and these are fun to do. And every year, I think to myself, what are my favorite, movies or albums? And every year, I think to myself, why don't I start keeping track in January? I never do.
Yeah.
I never do. And then now I'm just like, wow, what did I like? And then it's usually everything that I listen to in December.
I put way too much work into
Me too.
this list.
Yeah, I think you did too.
Well, I wanted to, and then I came down with the death plague and a new job training, so it kind of messed with my studying a little bit, but I did put a lot of work into it.
The death plague.
The death plague.
Nice.
I think it's going around. I hope,
No.
I should have worn a mask.
Yeah.
I made my list and I was like, I like this shit, but then I went back. I was like, why did I like this shit? And I
had a couple
couldn't even
of those,
fucking
too.
remember.
Yeah, that I loved when that first time I heard them, but then on revisiting, I was like, well, what is it? But I would make playlists on Spotify. I was checking off the songs I like, see how many were good versus not, dividing them, making a percentage, mathematics.
Yeah,
what I'm
of course.
saying?
Yeah, totally.
Mathematics.
Long
God.
division.
So it's fun to, whenever you do this, like a podcast or any podcast, to kind of revisit the stuff, because what we do is we talk about music, movies, pop culture, and every now and then we'll have a guest on. And I think people really respect our taste. So this is super important. But before we move forward with that, I just want to do an intro on you, because I know that you have a podcast that I listen to a lot.
Sure.
So just tell us about that.
So Being There is a podcast. It's a storytelling podcast. We try to find guests that have been through interesting things or have done, crazy things. It's hard to really put it into one category, because we have had guests that have just been through all different
crazy shit. Give some
crazy
examples.
Shit. We've had a white collar criminal. A girl, she was in the stock market, literally stole millions, had an insane drug problem. And it was funny because when we had her on, she's a friend of mine, and going into it, I'd heard the story before, and she sounded way more remorseful. But then we had her on, I'm like, wow, she's really not that remorseful about it.
Yeah.
So it made an interesting conversation for us, because
Right.
we were trying to convince her, do you know what you did was really bad? But she thinks that she, received way more jail time than she should have, that she shouldn't have to pay all these people back. And that was one of our crazier episodes, for sure.
I like that. That was a good one. That one, and the one that really bugged me out was the home invasion.
Yes, the home invasion. And actually, she has a really good podcast too. I'll have to look that up. I don't know it offhand. But she was living at home with her mother. She was a teenager, and they had some meth head who came in, broke in, and for no apparent reason just stabbed her mother, stabbed her,
shit.
and she tried to get to neighbors' houses to try to talk to them, and no one really wanted to help her at first.
On this podcast, she's telling the story, and man, I'm telling you, you're just listening to how she's breaking it down, step by step, how everything happened. Fuck, it's heavy.
Seat,
Yeah.
probably, yeah.
It's
Jesus.
heavy, because you put yourself in that position. We're such horror fans, and we all like horror.
That
and
could happen to anybody.
I always said, home invasion, is like the one thing that actually can happen.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and if
to
you don't,
anybody.
if you don't have that strap handy, you know,
Yeah, and this was a
I
house
don't.
full of women.
none of us do, unfortunately.
Yeah, and not to say women can't defend themselves, but you know what I mean? It was women, you know, an elderly woman, a
Yeah.
mother and a daughter. They're not prepared for this, you know, and they were sleeping. So the mother ended up passing away. The daughter,
Yeah.
you know, ended up living to know that her mother passed away, and then having to go through the trials and all of this. It was just hearing it. I knew a little bit before going into it, but I don't like to know too much before
Yeah.
going into these because I really want to kind of
Natural
feel,
reaction.
have a
Yeah.
natural reaction to
Well,
these
yeah,
people.
because it's such a like inquisitive thing that you're doing. That's what the podcast is. You're basically selecting these guests that have the story, and you guys are there to kind of just like, you know, twist the knobs here and there and be like, hey, you know, what else happened and stuff like that. So
Yeah. And it's
y-
hard too because we do it seasons, and season 1 we got, and it may not be the nicest word to say we were spoiled, but we got spoiled because we had some really insane stories. It's hard to top that. So with that kind of podcast, it can be a little difficult finding guests. A lot of people have stories that are really similar, so sometimes you can use them, but you have to space them out. But the first season, we had some pretty insane guests on, people that have been through some pretty crazy stuff. But season 3, we have it ready to go. I think it's going to be pretty good.
and what makes like a season like number wise?
I think the first season, it's bad because it's my own podcast. I feel like we had about 8 to 10 the first. I think we tried it. We want to keep it around 10. I think the first season was a little shorter. The second season, I believe we had 10. We've been throwing some mini episodes in there just because, you know, for more content. We wanted to have more content. But we try to keep it around 10, I think. And sometimes we'll go to 12.
Did you ever think of like maybe committing like home invasions just to get more guests?
I mean, it's a thought, you know. Sometimes it's a thought. I mean, I've even been open to the fact of like, you know, how some people have these alien abduction stories. They believe it's true. It probably didn't happen,
Right.
but you know what? As long as you believe it's true and you really think it happens, we'll take you.
Well,
We'll
it's
take
like
you
a
on.
good story.
You just
Yeah.
got to sell it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Not that I want people to lie, but I mean,
Yeah.
some of these people really think these things happen to them, you know?
I mean, who's to say, you know, what someone, you know, I don't know what someone's going through.
Exactly.
Especially, you know, not saying that anyone's mentally ill, but if you are of that, you know, world, that shit's just real to you. And, you know, if you could tell a story and
It's it's still an experience.
that's right.
Yeah.
It's all about the sponsors.
Yes.
Yeah, which we don't really have any.
South Oaks.
Yeah.
We're hoping for that South
Yeah.
Oaks sponsorship.
You're getting that South Oak shit. And also you do like you work with Casey from the Stern Show.
Yeah, and that is interesting because it's funny. I mean, I remember watching the Stern Show when it was on the E! Channel.
He pranked you.
That was the best.
Him himself didn't prank me. I did get a prank call from the Stern Show. I used to work at
'Cause
Expressions, yeah, an adult store.
shit.
And you know, it's so random because we get these random phone calls all the time. So when they called me, it was about an elderly couple. I think they wanted a butt plug or something to that extent. And
that old story.
and it's funny, I took it very seriously because that is a scenario
craft.
that happened. That's a scenario
Oh,
that
you guys sell butt plugs?
yeah,
It
and
makes
I have
sense.
and I have had elderly couples that have come in because men have prostate problems, so it wasn't that weird to me. And then I get a call back saying, "You've been pranked by the Stern Show. Is it okay if we use this?"
Oh,
and I was
okay.
like, "Yeah, it is." And actually, Anthony, you know, the watch, he heard
Watch.
it. Yeah, he's the one who was like, "I heard you," and I still can't find a copy of it. I wish that I could though, because I want to hear it.
Yeah, that's
The watch
awesome.
is everywhere.
He is.
Nothing
The watch
gets
is-
by him in New York.
Nothing. Yeah, nothing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything gets filtered through him,
Yeah.
no matter what it is.
Yeah, he's everywhere.
But yeah. So what do you do with KC?
So he owns a radio station called WMAP Radio, stands for World's Most Amazing People, and it's part of his, you know, trying to turn his life around because if you know who he is,
Yes.
he's kind of a hot mess,
Sure.
you know.
Yeah.
And he's working on trying to have a more positive, you know, image and just being a more positive person. So we have people that come on from like, life coaches to, I mean, we actually had, remember the Miracle on the Hudson, the plane that landed?
Yeah, yeah.
We had the last
Shout out to
person.
Sully.
Yeah, shout out to Sully. We had the last guy who was on the plane who helped all the people get off. So,
Oh,
so we
wow.
have some really, some
Wow.
cool guests. We had a Holocaust survivor. So we have a range of different guests. So I do all of the interviews on that station. And I run the office and I basically babysit Casey.
How'd you run into that?
It was the
From
most
Expressions?
random. No, actually, yeah, you would think so.
Back
No,
to the butt plug.
I'll take 2 butt plugs.
no, it was super random. A good friend of mine was interning. Like Casey posted a ad for an intern. And then I got hired on to do sales, and I hate sales. It's really not for me.
Yeah, it's fucking whack.
Yeah, so he noticed that I did well on the air, and he liked the way I interviewed, so I just kind of picked up from there, and then I ended up being the only person that was working there. So it's a lot, but I really like it. And, you know, despite what people may think about Casey, he's nuts, but he's awesome. You know, he's a great boss to work for, and, I mean, he's a character. He's definitely a character.
Yeah,
those songs on the
Oh,
Stern Show
yeah.
with some of the funniest things.
Casey
ever. I'm
posed
going
for
through
gay
my head.
photographs.
Oh my god, there's so much, and people
So many.
still like, you know, because he'll go on. He doesn't know technology at all, so he'll Facebook.
Really?
Yeah,
Like on the show, on the Stern Show, he was like taking apart computers.
he can do that. But as far as like
Can't put
Facebook
him back
Live
together.
goes, he'll Facebook Live these interviews, and people can't hear the interview. They just see him talking, and he looks crazy. So you just see all these comments like "Gacy" and this and that, and like people just harassing him. And you know what I love about him is he doesn't take it too seriously.
Right.
You know, he'll message people back and be like, "Oh yeah, you're right," and this, you know. So he doesn't take himself too seriously. And there's been like a barrage of people coming out like who have been on the Stern Show and putting out books talking like shit about Stern, which is kind of
Yes.
messed up if you think about it.
Yeah.
John
And Casey
Melendez.
didn't do that. He did have the opportunity. I hope I can say this. I think I can.
He's
and,
not listening.
No, like he had the opportunity and he didn't do that. You know, he's like, you know what? Whatever happened between me and Howard, he gave me an opportunity out of college to have this amazing job. He's like, I'm the one who screwed it up, and I have a lot of respect for him for doing that.
Right.
So-
Definitely.
Yeah.
Stuttering John came out with a book that
Yeah.
it's talking a lot of.
A lot
A
of those
lot.
old
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to Howard TV. They all disappeared. A lot of that stuff. I know Artie, but Artie has his problems.
Yeah,
He's a
he
fucking
Dude's nose
mess.
collapsed.
Well,
Yeah.
he was on Anthony Cumia's show, and
Yeah.
then that didn't work out either. He just
No.
can't seem to find his niche.
Yeah,
I mean,
'cause
that
he-
show Crashing, good for him. He had a big part in that. I don't know if you guys watched that, but
I want to punch Pete Holmes in the face. I don't know why.
because he's kind of, I don't know. You know
What
what?
is it?
I get it, but I kind of like him too. Like, I want to punch him in the face, and then I'm like, you know what? All right, I kind of like you. Like, I can deal with
Maybe
you.
it's because he has an HBO show and I don't.
Yeah, that very well could be it. You know, a little bit of envy.
Yeah.
But you know, I mean, good for Artie being on that show, and he's going through a lot. But I mean, I know Casey recently saw him. Which the benefit of working for Casey is, I'm trying to get in there and hang out with Artie myself. I
Yeah.
want to meet him.
Right.
But yeah, the guy's a mess. But he's again one of the nicest guys. You know,
He seems like he seems like
real
it,
genuine guy.
really genuine guy that just has issues and problems, which I had. Everyone had.
Yeah.
So
Me
Yep.
too.
yeah.
So I understand it, and that's probably why I have so much sympathy for the guy.
Yo,
you know?
shout out to drug addiction.
Yeah, man, it's rough. The struggle is real.
All right, so that's fantastic. You could listen to her show like on Spotify and all that other good stuff.
Yes, and if you want to check out WMAP Radio, if
yeah.
you want to hear some inspirational shit, can I curse? I
Yes.
can curse, right?
Fuck yeah, you can.
Okay, you can go to
This guy curses every other.
Uh,
Did you see those Christmas reviews that he does?
I
Is
did,
Yeah.
yeah,
a lot
I
of
did.
fucking in those.
Yeah,
at work the other day, I was asked
R-rated.
what are my two most used words every day, and it's either fuck or Costco.
nice.
So
It's
yeah,
a really
those are my
good mix.
two.
Honestly,
Yeah,
that's
you can see that, right?
facts.
Yeah.
Facts on that for sure.
But so yeah, if you want to go to WMAP Radio, the station runs 24/7. We're live during the day, but if you want to hear some back interviews, some of them are really good. And he just put out a book called Simply Amazing. You can get that on Amazon, and check it out. It's pretty good. He has a whole chapter on himself, and then it's all stories about other people. The Holocaust survivor one, crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Is he
crazy.
really from Port Jeff? Is that
Yeah,
where he's from?
yeah.
Okay, yeah,
really
yeah.
from Port Jeff.
Wasn't sure.
Still living in Port Jeff.
Nice.
Yep.
real.
Yeah, keeping it real. for
Keeping
sure.
it real. Yep.
Okay, so a lot has happened. Are your headphones okay?
Yeah, they're good.
Cool. So the Boulton Center. Let's get to that because we've been showing a movie there once a month. It's been awesome.
Yeah.
We did Back to School. We did what was the second one? Monster Squad. Just One of the Guys. And then Christmas Vacation. So shout out to them. Shout out to Michelle. Great staff. And there's something about watching those movies in a theater again with other people.
Yes.
It's contagious to laugh because I laughed. I knew everything that was happening at Back to School.
Yeah.
But I still fucking laughed.
Of course.
Same.
It's so good.
It holds up.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
So they asked us to do like the next 11 movies. So from February to December, we're gonna start doing shit there again. We're gonna skip January, but like I finally got the movie that I wanted to get, which was fucking Midnight Madness.
Yes.
Love it.
The Michael J. Fox vehicle.
Yes, I'm
First movie, right?
first movie. I'm pretty
Yeah.
psyched.
Michael
about,
Fox. Yeah.
Yes.
Pretty
No
psyched
J.
about
No
it.
J.
And it's one of those movies that you've never seen it, probably, right?
I actually haven't. No.
Yeah.
It's in the M section. so you can borrow that if you want.
That's your
First
I'll have to
time down
peruse.
here, so it's the in the
We'll
end
throw
section.
that in your gift basket when you leave.
Nice, nice. Well, I think it's awesome that you guys are doing that because one of the only places that was something like that was the Huntington Cinema Arts Center. And
They still do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know they still do it, but it's nice to have more than one option and other
Definitely.
nights
One
too.
super north and one super south. The only thing about the Boulton Center is that it's aligned with the YMCA. So I was like, how about Killer Clowns? How about this? How about that? And we have to keep it like
Light.
Yeah. So I'm actually, I'll read to you the
Some good choices people were throwing out there.
why
gotta
I
say.
threw it in there. So
Yep.
let me just read these motherfuckers. Holy shit, where is that? So February will be Midnight Madness. March we're gonna do the Burbs.
Yes.
Good one.
Yeah.
April we're gonna do 3 O'Clock High.
Oh, love it.
May My Blue Heaven. June One Crazy Summer.
Nice.
July Jaws.
Ooh.
August
nice.
Can't Buy Me Love. September Little Shop of Horrors. October Teen Wolf. November Gremlins, and December again Christmas Vacation because that's like a staple there.
What
Yeah.
a lineup.
Yeah,
What
it's
a
good
lineup.
I mean, this
Solid.
works perfect. If if the podcast are just gonna stop doing shows, every year, we'll just fucking do movies. We'll become movie promoters.
Movie
I know.
promoters.
You know?
It's a very lucrative deal that we
Right?
got going on.
I
over
know.
there.
really expanding the business
Yeah,
model,
I know.
right?
Yeah, totally. Anything to just monetize.
We'll get
this
that
brand.
Kickstarter for Teen Wolf 3 going tomorrow.
So, all right, let's talk about our favorite things here. Let me see.
Everybody get out your homework.
Nice.
Yeah.
Actually, I also want to talk about Shudder. Like, I thought I just started paying $5 a month for Shudder, and it's fucking worth every penny.
Oh yeah.
It is.
Yeah, it is. Like,
Now remember, it took me 5 years to cough up $10 for fucking Spotify. So
I don't understand. That is true. Yeah, we were like, Spotify's the best. You
Yeah.
have Apple Music.
I do, and I really like Apple Music.
Same shit. So Shudder is awesome. They give you like a week free, so when you sign up, you could like skim the movies. They add movies like every month, and it's just great, man. Like everything else, like the Fire Stick was fun for a minute, but it, like all the updates and all,
It's
such a-
annoying.
It's a lot
now
of work,
at
it
this point.
seems.
it's a lot of work, and at this point, I'm like, you know what? I'm kind of like over it. Anything that I can't find, I just go to YouTube.
I only use it
Yeah.
for like things that I can't find anywhere else.
Anywhere
And I'm like,
else.
let me take a shot at it.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'd rather have my Prime, my Netflix, turn it on.
Yeah.
There it is.
It's just easy.
Yeah.
It's just easier.
Enough
I don't want to
already.
I don't want it buffering.
It was fun for a while. It was like Napster.
Yeah,
It was fun for a while. Now it's over.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I was like, okay, you know what? I could watch this. I'll still fucking watch the UFC fights for free. But as far as like the movies go, everyone talks about missing Blockbuster. You have more than Blockbuster.
Way more.
Way more. Like you're
Yeah.
just sitting at home and like I just order shit. Like yesterday, I ordered stuff off of YouTube. $3 to not move from the couch. Sure, whatever. So same thing with Shudder.
it's the same thing with like record stores though. People, it's the romantic idea that going in. It's a social thing.
Yep.
Go with your friends. Go to the store. That shit. That's what they miss about it. But you can't deny that everything's at the touch of a fingertip. It's so easy.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Are you trying to compare Blockbuster to record stores?
Oh,
Well,
shit.
I just mean as
I see the finger, man. You
physical media that a store that you're gonna
No.
walk out with.
let them
something to
have
hold.
it because I see that finger.
Well, I just find it very therapeutic to thumb through records, and
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a real experience for me, and it just doesn't. I don't want to go thumb through CDs, but when it comes to like vinyl, I don't know. It's like my sweet spot. I just really
Definitely.
enjoy going to record stores.
Totally
and, like,
agree with you. I
digging
worked in
through
them.
it.
The best job I ever had in my life was working in record stores.
Well, back then when that was like what you wanted to do. For me, it's like, what do you want to do with your life? It's like, well, work at a record store, obviously. Like that was like
Yeah.
High fidelity.
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
pretty much what I aspired
Yeah.
to. Like if I could own one and just talk
Yeah.
shit to people and not value, about their musical taste. That's
yeah. If
all
you
I
could
want.
shit on someone for like asking for like a Maroon 5 CD, just like kick them out of the store.
Yeah.
You wouldn't make money, but
No.
it'd still be funny.
I got close. I worked at Utopia when it was still Utopia before it, whatever it is now.
How were the butt plugs at Utopia?
Well, it's funny. They hired me at 16, so I actually could not work the back room. So that wasn't really my forte.
Did they have stuff?
Yeah, they have a back room there. Now
the
it's actually
bongs and all
bigger.
the
Yeah,
whatnot
they
back
have like
there.
the bong sex shop room. But I basically
Water
I
pipes.
water pipes. Yeah, I was their body
PC.
Yeah, but we had a lot of people at the time who were really into music, so we had a lot of really cool stuff, and like it was fun to kind of be a snob, just a little bit.
Well, it is, and like the older I get, like the more, whenever people talk about, I don't know, it's just hard. You can get into this long discussion, where like somebody will play like, what was I listening to the other day? Like Kodak Black or like Travis Scott. And I'm like, this isn't really hip hop. I'm like, this guy's kind of just like singing.
Yeah.
Like, the only people that call that shit rap is like old white people.
Right.
Yeah.
And
That's
they
me.
usually make the joke
That's
about
probably
the
me.
crap.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
rhymes
Oh,
with
this is
crap.
and I'm like,
You know what I think about rap music,
Yeah.
don't
Kid,
crap.
that is true. That's the guy that
That's the
asked
go-to.
Parker if he was going to drink a 40 for
Yeah.
episode 40. Same guy.
And the only rap song that I knew was from Revenge of the Nerds 2. So that was it.
He's not joking.
I'm not.
But anyway, so yeah, I love Shudder. Check it out. I watched something really just recently that would have made my top 10, but it's still fresh in my head. It's called You Might Be the Killer with Allison Hannigan and some other dude, and it's like a really interesting take on a slasher.
Okay.
It was Friday the 13th meets The Mask, like the Jim Carrey movie.
Wow.
Super cool.
Not the Rocky Dennis.
No,
Oh,
that's
great movie.
Mask.
That would have been interesting.
That is a great movie.
I would have saw that.
Sam Elliott's mustache alone, I would have
That
watched
would have
it.
been
you
that
know?
would have been it. So.
I'm interested though. That's on Shudder right now.
It's on Shudder. Do you have Shudder?
No, I don't.
No.
Cough up that
Just
$5.
asking. That's what we do here. We have a conversation.
If I decide to get Shudder.
I'll wait for the library to have it.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying?
But yeah, no, Shudder has a bunch of shit. They added Mandy. I don't know if that made it to
Great
anyone's
movie.
favorite list. So
We'll have to see, Sam.
Yeah.
Nice.
I guess
Okay.
we'll have to
Captivate
talk
the
about that.
audience.
so
I
when
want people to tune out now.
when this canceled, didn't it snow or something when you were supposed to
Yes.
come in?
Yes.
Yep.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we told you that we were going to talk top 5 movie villains.
Yes.
So let's talk about that now, because I think that's a really cool topic because there's so many great movie villains. So let's just get into that. So Kelly, as the guest, give us.
You're gonna make me go first?
Okay, you'll go last. Parker, give us your.
Yeah, please.
God
Who's
damn it.
ready?
Don't give me the
I'm ready.
credit.
Sorry, I was
He's
just
cracking that 40.
trying to. Got to make that guy happy, man.
Seltzer.
Yeah, Seltzer 40.
40 a seltzer.
All right, so villain-wise, I thought about it. I was like, oh, you could do fucking Darth Vader and all that other fucking bullshit. But I kind of took a different route. So I did number 5 for my villain. I actually did Gordon Gekko from Wall Street.
Oh, I
That's
was
good.
looking at
Which,
him. Too.
which I
it's a
thought
good
was
one.
kind of like an offshoot. But you look at the movie. Obviously, he's the villain, but Charlie Sheen looks up to him. He wants to be him. Probably one of my favorite lines in that movie is lunch is for wimps. Because all the guy cares about is fucking money, 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 and
Greed is good is like
Yeah.
legendary.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
In film history.
So I
that
mean,
line,
Charlie
yeah.
Sheen, works his way up and pretty much, stabs everybody in the back, and then, stabs ultimately his father's, business in the back to try and make money with this, and then it all fucking comes tumbling down. So that was my number 5, Gordon
Nice.
Gekko.
That's
Good
it.
choice.
Shout out to Carlos Estevez, a.k.a. Charlie Sheen.
There we go.
All right, so my number 5 is a movie that we're going to show at the Boulton Center, and that is Buddy Revell from 3
good
O'Clock
one.
High.
Yeah.
Good one.
He, was the ultimate bully. I mean, he had his brass knuckles. First of all, was it? It was high school, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, he looked 35.
You're being
You look-
kind.
You're like-
Yeah. He was like a monster.
Richard Tyson. That was the guy's name. Richard Tyson.
Yeah.
That's right, kindergarten cop.
That's
Yeah.
right.
But he was just great. He
Fantastic.
played a great villain when
Touch me, freak.
yeah,
Man
like
was a
he
touch me, freak.
when the main character, I'm forgetting his name right now, hires the other dude to the football player to make him stop.
Oh, yeah.
Jerry was his name, right?
Was it?
Was the main character?
Jerry.
Maybe
Fuck.
Jerry.
No, it was.
Sounds right.
Jerry
And-
Smith.
But yeah, go
Yeah.
ahead. The football player.
Jerry
yeah.
Mitchell.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Mitchell.
don't fuck this up, Mitchell. That's
No.
right. God
Oh,
damn.
that's a fucking great plot right there.
But anyway, yeah, he knocks he fucking hits him with those brass knuckles and knocks over every thing. And like,
That guy was a robot teacher in class of 1999. Don't fuck this up, Mitchell. Shout out to Dan Turr for loving that movie.
You know who else? He was in Delta Force 2.
You know, I never
The
fucked with any of those.
Crackdown.
I never, you know, I never
It's
went.
terrible.
Yeah, I
But it's
mean,
good. So, all right. Nice. Before we go into a further hole, what is your number 5, Langan?
No, this list is kind of as far as 5 to 1. I just wrote a whole bunch of names because it was very hard to limit them. But I got Bill the Butcher from Gangs of New York.
oh, great fucking movie.
Evil.
He's actually the only reason that movie's watchable. I think.
Really?
You
don't want to fuck Leonardo DiCaprio?
Yeah, his accent in that movie is Keanu Reeves and Dracula kind of bad.
Oof.
It's horrific. But anytime Daniel Day-Lewis, as usual, is on the screen, he commands a presence.
Yep.
But so many good one-liners, and what an evil son of a bitch, you know, like clearly the best part of the movie.
You're more of a fan of There Will Be Blood over that?
I didn't really like There Will Be Blood.
Yeah.
that
Yeah, me
much.
neither. I didn't like it.
No.
Yeah.
No. Daniel Day-Lewis does some movies I don't like,
Yeah.
but he's always good in them.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But,
I agree with you
so
on that.
I went Bill the Butcher. What do you got, Kelly?
All right. Mine are not in order. I'm trying to put them in order as we're talking. But
Me too.
It was
That's
just,
what I'm doing because
yeah,
I picked so many.
It was tough. So I'm going to go, I guess, with my number 5 as Brad Pitt in California.
No, there you go.
Nice.
I mean, he's just so,
Hot?
Yeah,
well,
definitely.
aside from hot. No, he's just such like he's just so bad in that movie, and like you want him to not be bad. There's times where you're like, oh, well, maybe I can somewhat like his character, but then no, he's just such a nut. He's such a crazy person.
I think most villains have that.
Yeah.
It's like they're the villain, but like a couple times in the movie, you're just like, damn, that guy's fucking pretty cool.
Was it
Some.
Juliette
Yeah.
Lewis in
Yeah.
that with him?
Yeah, Julia
Juliette
Lewis.
Lewis.
Yeah.
Yep.
And,
David Duchovny?
David Duchovny,
Oh,
and
yeah, that's right.
what's the other chick's name? I can't remember
She's
her
kind
name.
of cute. I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was in I know she was in True Blood, but I can't think of what else she was in.
California with a K.
Yeah.
California with a K.
Remember that
Yep.
shit. So, and later on, Duchovny did Californication.
Yes.
Oh, fuck.
One of-
dude.
Connection?
There we go.
One of my favorite shows.
Dun,
The
dun.
show's so good. Love it.
Number 4, Parker.
Number 4, that fucking bitch-faced Nurse Ratched from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Good one.
So, oh my God, what an asshole! That's all that I can. That's all that I can say about this fucking woman. I mean, just every scene you fucking hope that Jack Nicholson fucking hits her or somebody hits her, and I mean every time that ending, it's just like what Jack Nicholson becomes. It fucking brings a tear to my eye. But I mean, at least the fucking Indian got away, so at least it was somewhat of a happy ending.
Yeah. If you look at any of those any of those villain lists, she's on every single one of them.
Oh, yeah.
Totally.
No question.
Yeah, her name is like synonymous for like
Sure.
Evil.
douchebaggery.
Yeah.
So, number 4 for me is Alonzo Harris, aka Denzel Washington from Training Day.
Oh, nice.
He was a bastard.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was.
Great
And he
movie.
had all the power in the world, and he was just so
Ruthless.
he was ruthless,
Yeah, he
man.
was
He was
ruthless.
like just taking authority and just
Yeah.
like running.
Abusing
Using
it.
the power,
The
abuse of
shit
power.
out of it.
Yeah, totally.
Poor Ethan Hawke. He didn't
didn't-
really stand a chance.
No.
Great movie too.
Uh-huh.
Really
Like, I
good.
watch it all the time, and just the way he went out, I thought it was a great ending.
Mm-hmm. I have to agree.
Got smoked by the
Yep.
Russians.
Yep.
So that's what happens. Keep it going.
Those Ruskies, you got to watch them, man.
Yeah.
Fucking Red Dawn told you that shit.
Number 4.
I got Ming the Merciless from Flash to Gordon.
Great fucking
Flash
movie.
Gordon.
I approve
I
that
love
message.
the Anton
Yo,
LaVey
how old are
looking. I'm like 100, yo. That movie rules, yo.
It does.
It
With
does.
the Hawkman, the
That
Queen
is-
soundtrack. Badass. But
you were gonna go Ming the Merciless.
I love it. I love that movie. And and Ornella Moody as his daughter. Shout out to her.
It's hot.
I was in love with her. as a
That
kid.
whipping scene, my God.
But yeah, he's just an overplayed. It was a Max von Sydow
Yep.
did it. Over exaggerated, but one of those. It's campy, but I love it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good shit.
I'm a fan.
Number 4.
Number 4.
Yeah.
All right. I have to go with Chris Lloyd from Roger Rabbit.
Oh.
Come on.
Great
He's
movie.
such a good
Yeah,
villain in
totally
that movie.
And
agree.
it still holds up.
Definitely.
It still
30,
holds up.
30 years
He's
old.
fucking scary in that movie.
1980.
Yeah, he's so scary. And come on, Jessica Rabbit. I
Yep.
mean, I know we're not talking
Kim
about...
Basinger.
Yeah.
She was the first cartoon I ever was attracted to.
I think
Nice.
she is... I think that's like everybody. I think
Yeah.
she's the first anything people
Yeah.
were attracted to because
yeah,
it was a
my
cartoon.
10-year-old boner was super confused.
I think I was more of a Tiger guy from, Thundercats. Yeah, that was the first cartoon that
I'm
kind of
like
did it for me.
silently judging him, but at the end of the day, I'm thinking like, well, how is my choice any better? They're both cartoons. But, okay, all right, there you go. Number 3, Parker.
I gotta go with my fucking boy, fucking Anton Chigurh from fucking No Country for Old Men. Another one. I mean, you watch it and you're just kind of like, this guy's fucking kind of cool. He's kind of fun. I mean, that whole scene when he goes into the gas station and he's fucking busting the guy's balls. You know, what time does he close and where does he live? The whole, the coin flip. I love that movie from beginning to end. I literally can watch that every fucking day. That movie.
Pure violence.
Yeah, and great cast too. I mean, that kind of definitely brought Josh Brolin back to like the forefront.
Listen, anytime you flip a fucking coin for someone's life,
Yep.
like in a movie, like when I saw this character, he was just fucking ruthless.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was just there to not play games. Like and he's flipping coins
Yeah.
and he's saying call it,
Yep.
and you have to call it.
And he's using like that air gun just to
It's
fucking like
the-
blow holes in people's heads.
the shit
Yeah.
that kills cows.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no idea what it's called, but yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Shout out to the vegans in the room.
There you go.
All right, so for me, my number 3 is this dude Martin, and he is in a movie called The Killing of a Sacred Deer.
Oh.
So
Wow.
this kid played by I always fuck up his last name. Yeah, Barry Kogan, whatever the fuck. There are certain movies that I watch, and one of them was Fresh, and I wanted to kill this little fat Spanish kid in Fresh. I wanted to like choke him. Every now and then I see a movie where the character or the actor just plays it so well that I want to strangle.
Yeah.
I want to go into the TV, and this was the last movie that made me do that. He is such a little douche.
He was in We Need to Talk About Kevin also, right?
I think so, and also in Dunkirk.
And he was a little detached douche
Yeah.
in that movie too.
Yeah.
He does it well.
He
Yeah.
he does do it well. He has a weird look. He looks like the singer of Jawbreaker, Blake. So shout out to the 3 people who listen to Jawbreaker. But he played it so well. It's such a great movie. The guy that made The Lobster, the guy that made Dogtooth, and I guess he has a new movie which I haven't seen. But it's like a period piece, and I don't like periods.
Oh, the one with Emma Stone, right? Is that him?
I don't even know. No, I don't think she's in
The
that.
Favorite?
The Favorite.
Yeah.
Is she in that?
Yeah.
Oh my God,
I'm
really?
pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah, well, The Lobster and The Killing of Sacred Deer, those are like my 2
Those are
jams.
great. Yeah.
And The Lobster is actually on Netflix now. They just added it. So.
Oh, I'll have to watch it.
Oh, really? You haven't seen it?
No, I haven't
Oh
seen
my
it.
God, my
It's
favorite
really
movie
good.
of that year. It's
Yeah.
this guy. Have you
nothing
seen
like
any of
it.
his movies?
I've seen The Killing of a Sacred Deer.
Okay, yeah. So, you know that world that he creates is just so awkward.
It's so
and weird.
awkward. Yeah, you're just like the whole time. You're like, I was on edge the whole time because I'm like, the dialogue is so weird and
Yeah.
it's just it's awkward. That's
You'll
the best
like
word to
Lobster
describe
then.
it.
When they're
Yeah.
having that conversation, Colin Farrell and Martin, and he kind of lets him know what's wrong with his kid.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just like, whoa, did he just say what I think he just said?
Yeah, and it's so like nonchalant. Like this is what's gonna happen, and yeah.
And then I Googled what The Killing of a Sacred Deer was, and it made sense and all that other stuff. I guess it's like a Greek, like something story,
mythology.
mythology. That's what it
There we
is.
go.
Myth. Yeah.
So off to you, number 3.
Drexel from True Romance.
Nice.
Love that guy.
I was gonna pick him.
I was just going to say,
It's my
did you
favorite
have
movie.
him? 'Cause
I
your
did. I took
reaction-
him off, but I was gonna pick him, and I was like, I couldn't decide if I
Yeah.
thought of him as a villain, but he is
Yeah.
a villain.
Yeah, there's so many villains. There's a few in that movie
Yeah.
that qualify.
There's
on
a
here,
few
you
more
know?
than him. He's just the most memorable.
Christopher
Yeah.
Walken was in there,
Yeah.
but I digress. But Gary Oldman, always fantastic. Absorbs into this other role.
Yeah.
Only he's on the screen for probably like not that long.
So
No,
great.
Yeah.
Not that long.
He owns that shit.
Yeah, he owns it.
Quotable.
Everyone remembers him, and then when they think back to like how much he was in that movie, it's almost like holy shit.
I say
it's so
it ain't
short.
White Boy Day
Yeah.
on a weekly basis,
Yeah.
at least
Yeah.
once a week at some point.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
I do.
And it has the most violent confrontation, like James Gandolfini and Patricia Arquette,
Yeah, that was
like
savage.
fighting was like the realest shit ever.
It was real and just disturbing.
Very
and-
disturbing.
Yeah,
yeah.
very
Like
disturbing.
he was like such a cocksucker.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that was an amazing movie.
He outweighed her by a little.
just a bit.
Yeah.
But maybe not now.
No,
Have
no.
You,
That's
have you,
true.
Have you seen Escape at Tanamora?
Yeah.
So,
She bulked
Sorry,
up, man.
sorry, Patricia, but
well,
yeah.
she won because he's dead. So.
Yeah. So this kind of similar to yours, Macaulay Culkin from The Good Son.
Ooh.
Oh,
Real
nice
creeper,
one.
right?
Yes.
Real creeper. I remember watching that when I was a kid and being like, really? Like, kids are like this? You know, it just kind of blew my mind. And then I was thinking back on it and I'm like, yeah, he's a true villain.
It's one of my
Kids can
favorite
be
endings when
creepy
he
as
lets
hell.
go when that fucking asshole dies.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, sociopathic kids are real creepy.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
that's why he made my list.
Yeah,
Kid-
it's
kids
the
in general.
detachment, just
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
the killing, the detached character. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? From any kind of emotion or whatever. It's fucking creepy.
Yeah, kids in general, like I said.
All kids creep.
All kids. Yeah, definitely. Parker, number 2.
I did Arnold in fucking Terminator.
Nice.
You know?
Oh, the first one.
The first one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I still remember seeing that, you know, when it came out in fucking Sunrise Mall and, you know, checking the back seat for fucking robots when we got out of the fucking movie theater. But that was probably one of the first movies that I saw that I was just like, holy fuck, there's this fucking robot and you literally can't kill this fucking guy. I mean, every time he fucking loses a leg or an arm, I mean, he's crawling after her in the last scene with like fucking, I think he's got like one arm left. And then she finally puts him through the fucking thing and kills him. But
It's just an arm.
Yeah, just an arm. That's it. You know? And then the second one comes out and you're cheering for the guy. So there you go. Like I said, perfect villain.
Well, some people have made the, you know, maybe we've discussed it too, how that's like the ultimate slasher movie. Because he just won't die.
Yeah.
He just won't die and he will
There's
come.
no slashing, though.
Well, you know.
You got to have like a blade of some sort at some time.
I guess.
You know?
I
I'm
guess
just
as far as the
qualify.
character goes, though, I can
Like-
see what you're saying. But
Yes.
yeah, there is no
sticking
slashing.
him.
Yeah.
It did have Bill Paxton, though, for like
It's a
three
great movie.
seconds. So.
Yo,
And I get what you're saying.
Bill Paxton. I'm such a Bill Paxton fan. The other day, I went to the RA or the Rugged Man video shoot in Comswag.
I saw you were there. Yeah.
And his son, Bill Paxton's son, was like the star of the movie. And the whole time, I'm just like, fuck. Like, I was starstruck just because his son was there,
Yeah.
you know? Like, I was like, yo,
You
you're...
came from Bill Paxton's seed, yo.
Yeah, I'm like, yo, your dad, like, everything that his dad did. And then I thought of all the movies that his dad did. And his, like, that's why I did that poll.
That poll.
Yeah.
So the poll was...
Kurt Russell, baby.
Love it.
Kurt
I gotta
Russell's
agree.
filmography,
Yep.
John Cusack's filmography, and Bill Paxton's filmography. 'Cause those three are like fucking.
Just giants.
Who would you
They've
pick?
been in so much. It's tough. I think I picked Kurt Russell, but I have to say one of my first favorite movies as a kid was Frank and Jesse with Bill Paxton, and what was it? Rob Lowe, I think, played Jesse James.
I think so. Yeah.
But like, it was a weird movie to see as a little kid. And I remember I watched it like a million times, and I just loved Bill Paxton's character, and he's so great in so many things. But I do think I went with Kurt Russell. on that
Totally.
one.
Same.
I went with Bill, but that's probably because I just saw his son, and I don't want to disrespect his memory.
True.
You know,
Like, yeah, we
Yeah.
got this poll
Bill's
going
great,
right
but
now.
was he an
so-
overboard, yo? Come on, man. Come on.
Love it.
just Carpenter alone on. But
Yep.
when you think about it, you know, Kurt Russell did Big Trouble in Little China and The Thing. God, those two are just really tough to beat. But then Cusack did Grosse Point Blank, and that's just as good as anything. Better Off Dead, One Crazy Summer, and Paxton was in Aliens. He did Frailty.
True Lies.
I
Let's
mean,
not
Bill
forget that.
Paxton doesn't apply to this theory because he's passed on, obviously. But Kurt Russell's kind of like really having a great second act too. Like he's been in some
Yeah.
great genre movies, Bone Tomahawk. A bunch of other
Bone
stuff.
Yeah.
Tomahawk was
What,
great.
wasn't he in the Tarantino picture that?
The Hateful
The
Eight?
yeah, the
Yeah.
Hateful Eight.
Wow.
He's
Death
he's
Proof.
great in that Western thing, which I don't like Westerns that much.
You know what?
but
I'm
when
changing
he's in
my
it,
vote.
I'm stuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm bringing you over.
Well, Bone Tomahawk and fucking everything else that you just said, like Death Proof.
Yeah,
Oh,
and Death Proof
is so
isn't a,
good.
But the
like I
Hateful
wasn't in
Eight-
love with that movie,
Really?
but mainly because I just think it wandered a little.
But it's
bit.
very talky because it's
But when
Tarantino.
Russell's on
Yeah.
the screen,
Uh-huh.
you know,
Yeah,
it's,
he's great.
It's
He was killing those nachos.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so for me, number 2 is Max Cady from Cape Fear.
Nice.
So did you pick him too?
I did, but I have a backup.
Yeah. Gotta have backup.
That's what I did.
I saw that at the Comac movie theater. Cape Fear.
Yo, this dude was like straight up horrifying, like as a kid, because he was relentless. And when you think about the case, I just the whole plot of it. You know, I'm talking about obviously the De Niro and Nick Nolte one, and the fact that he's like trying to like get with like Juliette Lewis, and
That was creepy.
The Ileana Douglas like bed scene where he like beats her.
Oh my god!
When he hires these dudes to kick his ass, and he ends up beating the shit out of all of them, and he's like counselor, and he's yelling, and then the end,
it's terrifying.
To this day, like the end, he just handcuffs him, and he doesn't care. He just wants to get in his head, and there's something about that I respect. Like to the end, he's just like, you know what? I want to haunt you now. You're gonna kill me. You know,
I love that movie theater scene where he's just fucking sitting there laughing the whole fucking time.
That is,
I cry laughing that whole fucking time.
Yeah, because it's so like if you're trying to fuck with someone,
he's just doing it just to piss him off, and he knows it.
That's what I picture Jerry Smith doing at every like movie at the Boulton Center with a cigar. So shout out to Jerry.
Yes.
That's my number 2.
My number 2 is Judge Smales from Caddyshack.
Awesome.
Fucking
awesome choice.
Again, like I didn't want to like pick like. There's so many horror ways you can go, but I'm thinking about comedies and that character, played by Ted Knight, brilliantly.
Yep.
I mean, he's kind of one of the best people in that movie. Everyone talks about Chevy Chase, Bill Murray, this and that. Caddyshack's a legend, but he's got so many great lines, and he plays such the '80s rich prick villain guy. Like he wrote the book on it. Like he set the bar. You know? It was like Robert Plant coming out as a front man, and everyone tried to do that. He was the evil asshole, and hilarious, great lines.
Jackie Mason ruined it. Oh no, who was it? Who was the next?
Jackie
guy?
Mason was in the second one.
No, but who played the Ted Knight character though?
Oh, wasn't it that Unsolved Mysteries dude? Stack?
Oh yes, Robert Stack.
Was he in that?
Yeah.
Robert Stack.
Yeah, he ain't no Ted Knight.
Yeah.
You know, no way.
All right.
He's like, I sent kids younger than you to the chair.
Yeah.
God, Jackie Mason, what a terrible replacement.
Oh, it's bad.
Well, Jackie was replacing Rodney.
Yeah, Rodney.
Yeah. They replaced everybody, and that's why it sucked.
Terrible.
Yeah. Anyway.
Number 2.
Number 2, I'm gonna go with Biff from Back to the Future.
Nice.
Oh yeah, excellent.
It's like a weird villain, you know, but I mean, I think he's just perfect. Whether he's old, whether he's young, whether he's sort of old.
He's like
I don't know.
He's born to play a bully. That
yeah,
guy's
he totally is. He just looks like a bully.
I'm sure he beat the shit out of some people in real high school.
Definitely.
When he was coming up. No doubt.
Probably did it on set.
Yeah.
You know?
Probably just bullied everyone on
He
set.
pushed Crispin Glover.
Yeah,
For real.
That's it. Yeah.
I think April Fool's Day was the only one that he wasn't like a fucking bully.
Yeah.
I forgot
Well, he was actually in Blood In, Blood Out. He played a cop.
I still don't get your love for that movie.
That's a great movie.
That's like an HBO classic.
Well,
So
here's the
bad.
thing. First of all, I'm Hispanic as fuck.
You are.
All right?
And
Not
you should have a
Mexican,
problem with that.
Yeah, I know.
dude fronting.
I get it. And,
ridiculous.
And there is a connection, even though like Mexican is so different from what I am. But still, I mean, you know, it's somewhere along the
Dude, when
lines.
that dude threw up his fucking son, like, it's douche chills. It's ridiculous.
I think growing up, it was fucking awesome because it was so violent and
It was violent.
long and I don't know. It was
and
just,
it wasn't horrible. I just breaking your balls.
No,
but
no.
I
It's
don't get it.
It's not like the best movie in the world, but there's something to it.
But later on, I realized that American Me, which was kind of like similar to it, was better.
Definitely.
But yeah, like now you look back and we always do that line, me and Brian Casal, where he's like, I don't want his pork chop, I want his line. It's just so stupid, but like, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
So
How did we get there?
I don't know. How do we leave?
I don't know. Jackie Mason and Mexicans
Oh, yeah,
somehow.
of course.
You know?
You're number 1, Parker.
That makes sense.
Number 1, I had to go horror, so I fucking brought it back, and I chose a guy that I was lucky enough to fucking party with like 10 years ago, and that was fucking Captain Rhodes from fucking Day of the Dead.
Oh man, that's a good
great
one.
one.
Yeah, so
Fantastic.
I was lucky enough to party it up with him at a Rock and Shock convention, and literally we had passes, Rob Link and I, for like the after party, and everybody's there. I mean, like fucking Candyman and all the fucking horror actors.
Everyone's there.
Yeah, all the
Yo,
fucking
Candyman.
Yeah, fucking Tony T, and everybody's hanging out, and everyone's just like, where's fucking Rhodes? Where's Rhodes? And literally, this guy walks in like slacks and like a dirty fucking wife beater with suspenders, and he gets a standing fucking ovation from all these
He
fucking
looks like
other...
an old school drunk.
yeah
kind of guy.
Yeah, which he definitely
He always
was.
looks like he has a bag of blow on his,
Yeah.
his upper pocket,
yeah.
you know, or he sells it like at a bowling alley or something.
Bowling alley.
But that guy is a great
That's a
villain
good
in that
one.
movie, though. That's fantastic.
Yeah,
I didn't
that's
even
a
think
big
of that.
Yeah. So for me, I'm gonna bring it back to '79. Even though I'm gonna go with the second one because that's the one that I remember. So Damien Thorne from The Omen. I thought he was like the ultimate. You know, when I was a kid, I wanted to be him. There was two things. When I was a kid, I wanted a curl in my hair like Christopher Reeve, like Superman. So every day before school, I would like hook a piece of my hair
Right.
and make it go, you know.
Okay.
I always wanted a butt chin. That's another thing that I
Oh.
wanted. So I would like squeeze my chin and try to make it indent. And I always wanted to be Damien Thorne. And I wanted to just basically kill people with my thoughts when I was a kid. And I think he was the ultimate villain because he was Satan.
Yeah.
What can
Fuck
you say?
with that.
Yeah.
I
Or
mean,
son of Satan,
if you still
right?
want these things, Christmas is right around the corner. So I mean,
Get me a
too.
butt chin.
You could get the
Curl
butt
in my
chin.
hair.
You could get the curl in your hair, but I don't think you could kill people with your mind.
I'm
just saying.
2 out of 3.
If it didn't happen already,
That's
it's
why.
not happening.
All right.
You know?
Let's move it along.
But curl your hair.
Let's do
All right,
this.
I'm up.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, you doing it?
Yeah.
Nice. I need some product. Brian, you got product?
I do.
I went with Patrick Bateman.
Oh,
From
good one.
American
Fuck.
Psycho.
You know, I
Yeah.
thought of that earlier.
I said I wasn't going horror, but I don't view this movie as a horror movie, really. I don't know why.
Really
but-
isn't, yeah.
But, oh, man. Christian Bale just knocks it out of the park.
Kills it, literally.
Yeah.
Every scene, he just, from not even just the extreme, like, killing scenes and stuff, but the sweating when, like, they break out their business
Oh,
car.
it's
Every
the
little
best scene.
aspect
Oh,
of him
yeah.
trying to be a
It's
human
perfect.
being
Yep.
through this it was fantastic. Top notch for me.
Off topic, but did you see the coming attractions for him playing the vice president, like the new movie Vice
Yo,
is
I
coming
did.
out?
Yes.
Yeah.
Bananas.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Amazing.
Like,
It doesn't even look like him.
No.
I heard he put on like a ton of weight.
That
to,
dude's
just to
gonna
play.
die. Like
Yeah.
the machinist,
Yeah.
that's kind of not good for you.
No.
No.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Machinist to Batman, it was like a fucking 150 pound
Yeah.
fluctuation or something. Yeah.
How do I?
I put on 20 pounds just for this podcast. All right, so you're number.
One. Well, it's funny because I was going to go to something similar like yours. I was going to go with Al Pacino from The Devil's Advocate because he's the devil.
Yo.
But-
that
Woo-ha.
was
I mean,
so
it's
good.
yeah, he was so good in that. But I'm going to switch it up and use my alternate and go with Kathy Bates in Misery.
Nice.
Classic.
I mean, she's for one. You don't expect a woman like her to be so like insane. Like if you saw her, you'd be like, "Oh, great, she is going to take care of me," and then she's just bashing in kneecaps.
There is
Right, so-
nothing like just that sledgehammer scene.
Oh,
Exactly.
That is
you just
brutal.
mentioned
Brutal.
it. We're not even
Brutal.
watching it, and we all cringed.
Yeah.
Like that is just fucking.
Legendary.
the book, she cuts his foot off.
I think
Yeah.
I'd rather
Spoiler
that.
alert.
Sorry.
Yeah, I think.
Well,
I'd
we
rather
didn't start the
that
book
too.
club yet, so that might be
I'm
the.
not going to read.
I think I would rather get my foot cut off
Yeah,
read the
my
book.
kneecaps bashing.
Then read a book.
That's true too. You know me, I only read when I do bids.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So that covers the villains. That was fun. Blah blah blah. I'll edit it and make it sound real nice. So, moving forward, let's move on to TV shows. So let's talk about our favorite TV shows of the year. This was a hard list for me to put together because there was so much good shit.
So many good.
Yo,
things.
it's just like
It was crazy.
insane.
Yeah.
Like there's so much. Like we live in a time right now. Like before, there was Channel 2, there was Channel 4, there was Channel 7. Maybe
20.
Yeah, maybe 9. 11 kind of. 5 came around with like.
And
Kung
Living
Fu
Color.
Theater.
Yeah.
Now it's like it's just.
There's just so much content.
Fucking.
Yeah.
I spend an hour clicking before I'm like, oh, it's like like when you're watching like Pornhub videos, you're like, oh, that looks good, but I think there might be another one on
Go back
page
to that
10.
later.
Totally, just keep going. Too much. we're being spoiled with everything. And so let's talk about TV shows. So favorite shows of 2018. We'll start with Langan.
I didn't watch any TV shows this year.
All right, cool. So we'll skip.
You know what it is? It's like you said. There's so many good ones.
Yeah.
I just have a habit of binge watching shows that are over.
Yeah.
And watch them from like beginning to end.
All right,
because I can't remember all the shit to keep up with. There's too much shit. I forget about it.
That's all right. You could be.
It's a big commitment to.
You
to
can just
go
watch
into
us
a TV
do
show.
it then. So we'll start with you.
Number 5 is unfortunately a show that I started but didn't finish, but I did like where it was going, and that was The Purge.
I saw the opening episode.
I think I liked how the font on the credits came together.
It's going to be good.
Yeah.
I started watching that, but I fell off around episode 3.
That's probably about where I stopped.
I liked it, but
it was
I don't
good.
know.
Plus, it's number 5, so fucking who really gives a fuck?
Yeah, I mean, I could only imagine what 10 through 6 was. Oh my god! So for me, number 5 is The Last OG. That's the Tracy Morgan show.
That looks funny.
It just got added to Netflix.
So good.
You watched it?
Yeah, it's on. Well, it was an alternate on my list because I had a feeling you were going to pick it.
Yeah.
So I had a replacement just in case.
Well, yeah, it just
so good.
So the writing is super funny, and the plot just lends itself to a lot of situations that the writers took advantage of. His wife, Tiffany Haddish, I think that's who it is.
Tiffany Haddish.
Haddish.
Yeah.
So funny.
She's funny, and she's in everything now. She had that comedy special on Showtime, and now she's like the what's his name?
Kevin Hart.
She's like the Kevin Hart now.
Yeah,
but she's funnier, I think.
Yeah.
She's hysterical.
Well, this show is just got it added to Netflix. Tracy Morgan plays a drug dealer that went away for 15 years, comes back to Brooklyn, and Brooklyn is
what Brooklyn is now.
Is what Brooklyn is now, and definitely, it's just so fucking funny. And now before it was on TBS, now it's on Netflix. I definitely recommend watching it. So
yeah.
Number 5, Kelly.
Number 5 for me. Let me pull up my list again here. It was hard to put them in order because I loved all these shows a lot. But
they're like all your children.
Yeah, they are like my kids.
Yeah.
Santa Clarita Diet.
So good.
Yeah, I was hoping they were going to do good with the second season because I loved the first season. I thought it was so different. I think they did too.
Yeah.
I mean, Drew Barrymore is just like this,
her and that.
I can't remember his name.
Timothy.
Oliphant. Is it Oliphant or Oliphant?
I don't know. I thought it was Oliphant.
I thought it was Oliphant.
We'll call
Either
him
way.
Tim.
I call him handsome.
Yeah, he is handsome. But it's such a good show, and I think they took season 2 in a really cool direction, and I think they're building it up to keep it going. And
That's
I'm
what
really
happens
excited
when you're married too long. You can't look at other women, so you look at other dudes.
It's fine with me, man. Men in Costco. That's it.
We're very progressive on this podcast. But yeah, what a great show! Just super funny. Like their chemistry is great, and the gore is so fucking.
It's insane.
Yeah,
like you wouldn't. I wasn't expecting it to be that gory. It really. It kind of blew my mind a little bit. I was really happy.
Very
about it.
very good. They get into a lot of shit, and their chemistry is really good together. So, and the kids aren't annoying.
No, they're actually really entertaining, and I like that they're even coming into their own even more this season.
Both seasons are on Netflix. So, Parker, number 5.
4.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, whatever. This guy threw me off.
I know, yeah. Now, 4 is a show that I've watched past episode 3, and I've actually watched it from the beginning, and just I laugh every fucking episode. It just gets better and
Couldn't
better.
you just do that?
Yeah. And it's called The Goldbergs, and I love it.
That show is like just
so that's my number 4.
Do you ever watch The Goldbergs?
No, and I've been meaning to because I keep seeing coming attractions and it looks good. I gotta check it out.
They just did the Robert Englund episode too. So they had Robert Englund in Freddy makeup for Halloween. It's just one of the best shows I've ever seen. So anyone that I tell to watch it, they love it. I like the older episodes more, but so be it. My number 4 is AMC's Preacher. So the 3rd season came out, and it was bonkers. Like, unfucking believably crazy. One of the most ridiculous shows I've ever seen. Very smart, like, shot amazingly. Like, it's one of the best things I've ever seen put to TV. Wow. Like, it's unfucking real.
Well, let me ask you a question. I started watching a little bit of the first season, but I couldn't really get past it. Does it get better? Does the first season look a little slow?
The first season so our former guest, Mikey Stack, was trying to get me to read the comics, and I was like, "Yo, I can't read. It's
Not even a comic book.
It's not fun for me. I don't like it. I don't like reading. It's not fun." So
It's fundamental.
Nice.
when the first season came, I like watched it, and I was like, "Oh, that's pretty good," but it didn't really pick up till like the middle of the first season, and then the second season starts, and it's insane. And then this last season, it just, fucking awesome.
I'll have to really
Like-
get into it then.
Yes, like season 2 and 3 are just from beginning to like there wasn't a bad episode, but you do have to get through like the first like 5 episodes of the first season.
Okay.
So, the next one, which
Okay.
is number 3.
Well, it's funny. I was just
4? I
looking.
don't know. What are we
Is
up
it
to?
4, right?
Oh, 4.
I was just looking because there was a show I totally forgot about, but when you mentioned something, it made me think of it, and I feel like I need to replace something I have on here. The Killing of Gianni Versace on FX.
Yeah.
Did anybody watch that? It's part of their like American crime series that they've been doing.
I heard of it, but no, I didn't. Was it like a series?
Yeah, it was like a
It's like a mini-series,
Yeah, it's a
right?
mini series because
Like
I
the
think
OJ
yeah,
one.
like the OJ one. It was incredible. The acting was really good. I mean, just the way they told the story was really good. They tried to do one after about the guy who was the son of the oil company guy. I don't remember it at all. But that was really good. It came out in January of 2018. And if you guys didn't watch it, it was totally worth watching.
It's fun how you could take these stories now, and instead of making a shitty movie, like if you have the right funding, now you could just tell this like long story.
Sure.
Yeah.
It allows for a lot more character development, and
Yeah.
you get attached to the characters, as opposed to having an hour and 20 minutes to do it,
To do it,
Yeah.
yeah, you can't really do like you could do much, but now you look at a movie and then you look at a series, even if it's like 6 episodes, it's just like, okay, we could cram everything in here. I don't know. That's why so many people are doing like these.
Yeah.
I like the mini-series kind of format, too. I did
Yeah,
watch
me
a couple
too.
of Sharp Objects, I believe,
Yeah.
on HBO,
Oh, I should have
and
added that too. There's so many.
and
So many.
Mosaic, which were like 6 episode or 8 episode, just, one storyline, whatever, like almost like a mini-series, and they were both fantastic.
Yeah.
Sharp objects. Yeah, that's Amy Adams.
So
Yes,
good. Did
she
you
was
watch it?
Great.
No.
So good.
Yeah.
You
See,
definitely
I
gotta
did
watch
watch
it.
something. I'm
You
jumping
did.
in.
All right, that's
There
your
you go.
number 1.
Number 5.
Yeah.
I'm going to name the 3 that I saw. 3,
this
2,
guy,
1.
this guy watched one episode of The Purge and threw it
That's
on.
it, man. Fucking shit made it.
Just to add one more thing too, that show introduced me to a serial killer I wasn't even familiar with because the guy who actually killed Gianni Versace was a serial killer.
Yes.
So that was kind of
Andrew
cool too.
Cunanan.
Yeah, Andrew
Yeah.
Cunanan. Yeah.
Shout out to him wherever he is.
Shout out
Wow.
to yeah. I think
He didn't make
I
it.
think I think he's dead.
Ah, well,
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
Yeah, no, he is dead.
Spoiler.
Yeah, spoiler alert. He
Hanging
died.
out with
He
Paxton
dead.
somewhere.
I will edit that out then. Number 3.
Number 3 is another fucking show that I've watched since the fucking inception, and I fucking hit my fucking head after every episode. I'm like, why am I still watching this? But I am still watching it, and that's The Walking Dead. So,
This season was great. I
so,
fucking loved it. I was listen. I'm an apologist for Weezer, and I'm an apologist for The Walking Dead. And the last 2 seasons were fucking brutal. The last 2 seasons of The Walking Dead should have been the first episode, the middle episode, and the last episode. That's it. But this one came back, and I think now that they're not going back and forth with the saviors, now that they're integrated in, and I don't know. There's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of stuff for the characters to do. The zombies were great. The violent, I don't know. It was just, I loved it.
I tapped out after like Negan thing.
I get
was
it.
going on.
Yeah, I
just
kind
was
of
like,
did too.
I get
So
it.
this guy's running this whole town with a bat. Nobody's gonna step to this dude. Really?
He's about $1.50.
Yeah.
And he's always like chewing up the lines. Like, I don't know. It's just like, all right.
I like
I'm
the-
not.
I
I
like the
will go
character,
back and
but-
probably finish it someday. But I just,
Yeah.
a couple of years from now, we'll
And he-
we'll catch
episode
up.
80, we'll check back with you.
Check back. When
He
I-
can never
when
walk
he's-
straight. He's always walking like he's
Yeah,
like
he's always-
like the
he's a
floor is like,
sachet.
yeah,
got
like
a
he's on
swagger.
K. Like stumbling around.
Fuck
It's
him and his bat. I'll be like, yo, let's just run up on this guy. We could take him, like 5 of us, easy.
yeah, I don't know. He's
It's like
he,
Butter Revell on the fucking brass knuckles,
But
man.
it's got
You know?
sharp
he had
things
some
on
shit
it.
on them. All right, so number
Anyway.
3 for me is another Netflix show, and it was phenomenal. Season 2 of Ozark.
Oh, god damn it.
Yeah.
Man, what a show! Like, you give me a show that has, killing people, drugs, Laura Linney showing her titties or whatever. I don't even. Maybe she didn't.
I don't know if she
Fucking-
did.
Oh,
Maybe she
sure.
did.
Listen, she's a pretty attractive older lady.
Sam seems pretty sure about it.
He just Googled them afterwards.
Yeah, okay.
He was on Mr. Skin.
Yeah.
as we say.
You know, if you do Google an actress's name and then put the word naked next to it, shit pops up.
You get what you're looking for.
Really?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It's like Amazon.
No way.
But sometimes, you know what happens? Sometimes you get like these Photoshop pictures of like, you know, like somebody, like if you know, I don't know, like give me a celebrity. Brooke Shields. Like if you Google Brooke Shields and you put naked, sometimes there's like X-rated pictures of her because somebody photoshopped her head on like a black body or some shit.
That's cheating.
I know. Well, say the internet. Sometimes you can't trust it. But if you give me Ozark, just like the story is just great. Like cartels and drugs and small town crime. Season 2 was just intense, and I think it was like the Laura Linney show because I think her character
really came into her own.
Really did. And then that girl who plays what's a girl with the curly hair?
Oh, I can't remember her name,
Yeah.
but she's good though. She's good in so
great.
many different things.
Everyone's like great. Like there's so many angles. And
There you go, Langan.
No. Wow. What did I fucking tell you?
That almost looks like I don't even know what the fuck that looks like.
I guess Parker did it. It worked.
That's pretty fucking scary.
Amazing. So, but yeah, all
modern
right.
technology.
Ozark. Back
All
to you,
right.
Kelly.
You know, it's funny because I had some on here and then I changed them as we were talking. But I guess what number are we up to? We're up to number. This is.
I just did my number 3.
This is 3. Okay, so I'm going to go with, and I feel like this is probably going to be on someone else's list also, but I have to go with. Actually, no. For 3, I'm going to go with The Deuce. I loved it from the first season. I think the second season's awesome. I'm sad they're only doing 3 seasons, but I was a really huge fan of The Wire, too, so I was glad that they did
Wire's great.
something similar. You know, there's a lot of similar aspects, but in a different time period, and just the subject matter is something I'm really interested in. So.
Me too. I'm a sucker for anything like old school New York. Anything
Me too.
With the backdrop being New York.
Times Square and that,
Times
like,
Square,
gritty...
dirty subways.
Yeah, just...
It's got to be so hard, though, like costume design and all that other stuff to just like do a show like that, you know?
Well, I don't know. If you think about it, a lot of that weird like stuff from the 70s is kind of like in style. So
All right, you know what?
Why not
Just go
actually fine.
downtown.
Never
go to,
mind.
like-
Just shit on me right now.
Patricia Field still open?
Yeah,
Or any of them still?
But even like the cars and stuff, like it's
Yeah.
just
No,
Oh,
I
yeah.
can imagine
It's
So
it
you got to
is
block
not
off
very
the
easy.
block,
Yeah.
you know, and
Yeah.
then put all the
Because
right
you have
cars
to film
in
that
there,
on
right?
location.
On
You
location.
can't do it
No.
somewhere else.
yeah.
Like Canada.
Canada.
Shoot the Deuce in like Toronto, like Rumble in the Bronx with Jackie Chan. They shot it in
Yes.
Vancouver. It's like, yeah, that would be New York.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
But
And,
yeah.
and Friday the 13th one.
Land of the Dead
They
too.
didn't
They
shoot
shot
that
in Canada.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
cheap, but I digress.
Cheap, yeah.
Go ahead.
Did you?
I was just gonna say I really liked the progression of the characters and how it went from being, you know, they were just really low level and you see them getting more successful and getting into different aspects. You see a lot of cool like punk scene aspects, a lot of cool punk music in it too, and just it's very different from the first season. I'm really interested to see where they go with season 3.
What vinyl could have been, but
What-
it just didn't.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was bummed about that.
it was right.
I was
I know.
into vinyl.
I liked it.
yeah,
I would have gave it another chance.
yeah,
you know,
another
but
season for sure.
I don't do the programming at HBO. You know, so.
All right. Parker number 2.
Number 2, yeah, getting back to Little Kids I Want to Beat the Shit Out of. The name of the show was called The Sinner, and I wanted to fucking punch that fucking kid in his head. But it was a great show. I made it through, so
I like that kid.
yeah, different than season 1.
But I love season 1.
Very good.
Season 1 was mind blowing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Season 2 definitely took you for another ride and just, you know, twists and turns, but yeah, it was great. That was my number 2.
Season 1 was a book, but season 2 was not. Am I correct?
Oh.
I know season
don't
1
know.
was based on a novel, but I don't think season 2 was. I think they just created
They're
another
on their
season.
own.
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's true.
Yeah, well, season 1 blew away season 2. That's
Yeah.
why I couldn't pick number 2 for me.
Yeah.
But it was still good.
Yep.
But 1 was just fucking mind melting.
Yeah.
So my number 2 is one of the most creative shows ever made. Again, Netflix, just killing it. Black Mirror season 2 premiered earlier
God.
this year. Only 6 episodes, but they are forever just like I don't even understand how you write something like this.
Yeah.
This season, like Hang the DJ killed me.
Oh God.
Hang
it was
the
so
DJ
good.
was like San Junipero.
Yeah. Oh.
You know,
Those two are like they're
Are-
just neck and neck for being ugh, I can't even describe it.
Oh no, they're like when in San Junipero when that Belinda Carlisle song hits, and then the same thing when Panic plays at the end of Hang the DJ. Fuck, you're just like, this is like, I could die right now. This is like the best show ever. I don't know. I don't know how to write something like that. The Star Trek fucking episode.
That episode is so creepy.
But so was Black Museum.
Yeah,
Black
Museum
was like a compilation of everything.
Yeah, and it's like it makes you sad and angry, and you're just interested, and it's all over the place.
Unfucking real.
Is that technically season 4, or because it's now Netflix took it over after the first 2? Is it now season? Because the first 2 were BBC. Like, we're
no, this is season 4. I mean, according to like, if you go on Netflix, it's under season 4.
Oh, because I thought you said season 2, so that's why I was confused.
Oh,
you said
no.
season 2 of Black Mirror.
I did?
Yes.
Oh shit, season 4.
Unless I'm wrong, but you can listen to it and double check. So. That's what edits
Whoa,
for.
All right, cool. All right.
Schooling you now.
Play that shit back.
Uh-huh.
All right. I get it. You have a podcast. Season 4. So that's my. Oh no, I said my number 2.
There you go.
Season
Oh,
4.
I thought you said season. Okay, well, my mistake. I wanted to make sure I thought correctly.
That's all right.
Anyway.
it's all good.
You
Calm
know.
down.
You're female splaining. My number 2, Black Mirror. So your number 2.
Okay, I don't know if you guys watched this. Another Netflix show, Insatiable.
I love it.
Love it.
No, I'm just
Such a no, really.
I have no idea.
You're
Never
a
heard
dick.
of- Yeah.
Anyway, so I'm leaving. That was my last one. No, it was a really weird show, but I really enjoyed it. I don't know.
What's it about?
It's about this girl. She's really fat, and then
I could relate.
yeah, and then she gets her jaw broken. Some guy is like robbing a convenience store, I think, and he punches her in the face. She breaks her jaw, and she loses all this weight. So it's all about this guy who actually played the dad in My Friend Dahmer, plays Jeffrey Dahmer's dad in that, and he wants to be her pageant coach. And it just goes, and like what's her name? Oh my god. The chick from Charmed, Alyssa Milano's in it too.
Okay.
All these unsuspectingly famous people are in it, and it just takes all these weird turns, and it's about just these messed up things that happen in high school, but they're not normal high school stuff. It's hard to explain, but I recommend checking it out. I really liked it a lot.
What's the name of it again?
Insatiable.
Gotta
Yeah,
check
she
that.
wants to just be like a pageant queen because she wants to prove to everyone that she's not fat anymore, and yeah, but it's really like messed up. It's really good.
I'm interested.
Yeah.
Yo, Netflix is wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of the stuff they put out, you're like, how are you getting away with this? You know, how are
But
people not
They'll
like?
just try anything.
It's
Yeah.
just
They'll
like
throw money. Like
it's
let's
the
try.
land of just like anything.
Wild
that-
Wild West
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
of
Like
production.
I feel like I should write a show and like give it to them.
Now's the time.
I think so,
They
right?
might wise up.
Yeah.
At some point.
Red River Podcast, the series.
Greenlight it.
Parker, number
1.
Oh,
Yeah.
I can't count today.
Ozark. Yeah. So I'm going to double up and say Ozark. That was a blast. I mean, just a continuation. I mean, the first season definitely had me on the edge of my seats. This was still very entertaining, but I mean, the violence was there, the language. I mean,
The violence and language.
yeah, that's all that you really need is
I
to
mean,
fucking
well-
keep my attention span going. Is violence and every other word fuck. So
Yeah.
All
Number
right.
one.
number 1, Ozark.
I'm into it.
All right, so for me, my number 1 shows of 2018. There's so much good shit
I know.
that I had 2 number 1s, so I cheated. I don't care.
Give one to Langan because he didn't watch any.
So
I love your second choice. I'm gonna love your second choice.
okay, I couldn't pick between these two. The last season of Love, which I think is just one of the best shows I've ever seen. It because it's funny, it's sad, it's everything, and it's like I feel like I'm watching life on a show.
Yeah,
And the soundtrack was amazing.
and it's never coming back.
It's never coming back, but you know what? We still have those 4 seasons. You could rewatch them, and they're fucking great.
Yeah.
They have, I don't know, I love it. And Gus, a.k.a. Paul Rust, has Jason Voorhees, a Friday the 13th podcast.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, he does
That's
one called
awesome.
In Voorhees We Trust, where they go through all the Friday the 13th movies.
That's cool.
And then the flip side to that is probably the best show on the planet, Ash vs. the Evil Dead Season 4. Another show that we won't get back.
Yep.
But, so both of those, I couldn't choose between, because it's the last season of both of those, and they were just the best ever. If you're a fan of Evil Dead, that show is a home run. Everything about it. Bruce Campbell is just funny. The lines are funny. It's just 25 minutes of just insanity, pure insanity. I'll take it back to the second season. Have you ever seen the show?
Oh, Ash vs. Evil Dead.
Yeah.
Actually, no. I watched part of the first season and I didn't get through
Jesus
it. I don't know
Christ.
why. It's just one of those things I just didn't get to.
That's
I
right.
know. Terrible
Insatiable
person.
got in the way. I get it. So there's the best scene of the show is when fucking Ash's head goes. He's in the morgue and his head slides into this cadaver's fucking body, and all the shit lands on his head as his head keeps he's getting pulled in by something, and then his dick is on his face. It's just like I can't even just it's insane.
That was absurd.
It was just the funniest fucking scene, and I'm gonna miss that show, and I'm gonna miss Love, and those are my two number ones. I think those seasons are all on Netflix. I could be wrong. I know Love definitely is.
Yeah,
so.
I think they moved Ash vs. Evil Dead to Netflix, I think.
Cool.
They did.
Yeah. So
Yep.
listen, what a time to be alive and watch all this stuff. I wish that I broke my leg or something so I could watch more TV, but you know.
I hope that I get just hit by a car just enough that I could spend a month in the hospital.
Exactly.
Catch
Yeah.
up on all this
There you
stuff.
go.
Good
Just in the
times.
back of my head.
Yeah, you got to get hit by a car so you could do it guilt-free.
Just
Yeah.
winged by it,
Yeah.
though.
Yeah.
Nothing crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was going to say terminal disease, but I don't want to do that because
Terminal disease with a miracle?
with a miracle. But you know what it is? The older I get, the less I like making those jokes. Because I'm like, hey, you know what? It could happen, and I'm going to
point.
feel really stupid that this is the last episode
point.
we'll do.
Maybe just like a brain tumor, but one that's not really that bad. One that you just have
For
to
a
get a little
month.
work done on, but for a month.
Dear Jesus, if you're listening, I got to catch up on Insatiable and whatever else. Your number one?
Okay, so my number one, I had two, but I'm gonna go with Escape at Dannemora.
Yeah.
I love it. I mean, it's perfect. I think it's a perfect
It is
series.
perfect.
I have an
I've
honorable
heard so
mention
many
too, though.
people
But
say-
yeah,
talk
It
great
didn't.
things
It
about
didn't.
that
It
show.
didn't end,
Yeah.
so I didn't want to add it. But I didn't know that Parker was going to add one that he didn't even watch. So if I knew those were the rules, I would have added it.
I think I got farther with that last night than I did with the Purge. So
yeah.
I'm gonna
Why
add
would
that.
you just add that?
I'm gonna add that then.
Yeah, well, I added
Fuck
it
that
because
Purge.
where it is now, I don't see it getting bad. I just don't think there's any way
no,
it could
there's
get
two.
bad.
There's two left.
Yeah, so it's going to be still just as perfect as it is.
And
now.
once again, here's a story. Ben Stiller was on the Stern Show talking about it. That's when I first heard. I'm like, anything to do with jail and bad luck and escaping shit, I'm in.
Yeah, me too.
All
True crime.
I'm a big, I vote for the, I'm always rooting for the bad guy. So any story like this, and you have 7 episodes to tell the story, and according to what he said on Stern, he said he wanted to keep it as close to the real story as possible.
Yeah.
So now, when those 2 episodes are gone, I want to Google and see how much of it is real. Her husband, does her husband really talk like that? Because I know the actor doesn't talk like
Yeah,
that.
he does a little bit. It's
Does
a little
he?
more exaggerated, but he does talk like that. It's a little more exaggerated in the show because I did watch a couple YouTube videos because he finally started speaking out and talking about it,
Okay.
and it is a little bit. It's not too far, but they do exaggerate it.
Yeah. Wow. Very, very, very good. You haven't seen it, right?
No, not yet.
Are you
What's
caught
that
up?
on Showtime?
Yeah.
I'm on episode 1. That's it. That's all that I've.
One.
Yeah.
Come on, I wouldn't be able to
That's one
stop
ahead
at
of me.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I started watching it right from the jump, so I had to keep waiting.
Yeah, I have an honorable mention show.
Let's do it.
And I don't know if you guys have. I have a feeling none of you guys have watched it. The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. It's an Amazon show.
No.
Totally good. It's
Yeah.
really, really good. It's about this chick who she's a housewife and her husband cheats on her, and she ends up getting into comedy. And it's in the late 50s when Lenny Bruce is around. So there's a guy who plays Lenny Bruce, and it's just really. It's weird, It's a weird show, but it's just really good. It's really funny. It's very smartly written.
Yeah.
I really enjoy it. And they just did a second season this year. It just came out a couple weeks ago. It's really good.
Crazy. You can't keep up.
No,
Wow.
can't
You
keep
can't.
up.
You know.
That's why I just gave up.
That's why you're waiting
you know,
for that
I ain't
bus.
gonna watch shit, man. Too much good shit. I ain't watching none of it.
My honorable mention will be, although it's not as good as the first season, Tales from the Tour Bus, because the country stars that they did. So anyway, for people that don't know, it's an animated show that Mike Judge does, Beavis and Butthead, blah blah blah. So where he tells these stories, through animation, but he also has on the people telling the story, and they're just animated. Very cool stuff. The second season, he went from country stars that were fucking wildin' to it's more of like I would say like a documentary, because the stories weren't that crazy, to funk stars. So it was like James Brown and all that other shit, but still great. Just a really good show, and a show that isn't really scripted, but the best thing that I saw that was a series in 2018 was Who is America? Jesus Christ, is that what it?
Oh, the Sacha Baron
Yeah,
Cohen.
the Sacha Baron Cohen, 6 episodes, where he just basically has these characters that are either, super left-wing liberal or super right. Like, he's fucking with everyone, and it's so fucking good. There's 6 episodes. They're up on Showtime, crushing it.
Yep.
Yeah, Showtime has been crushing it.
With the Agnostic Front, too.
The Allens, the Gigi Allen documentary.
That was great because you saw Hated?
Yes, I have seen Hated.
Okay, so Todd Phillips, director, that was the first thing he did out of college. And I thought to myself, like, what could you possibly do that would be better than Hated?
And that's what they did.
And he did.
Yeah.
I don't know who did it, but they checked the aftermath of the legacy, basically. So it's, Merle and his mom. And in a way, it was like semi-endearing. And you see these people that are kind of normal.
Yeah, pretty normal.
Pretty normal. Like, Merle seems like a really nice guy, except when he takes the shit out of the toilet and decides to make art with it.
Yeah, that's weird.
And he seems like some guy who just misses his brother. And when his mom calls Gigi Kevin,
yeah, she won't really call him Gigi.
She was just like, I fucking hate Gigi Allen, but I love my son Kevin.
Yeah.
You kind of feel bad, and it was fascinating. And same thing with Agnostic Front. Like, I'm not a big fan. Their music is whatever. But Vinny Stigma and Roger, like, just them as a...
They're an institution.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just their relationship, their lives... it was just fascinating to see, this band that just keeps on going.
And just to see how much work they put into, like, their craft, like how much they tour, how many shows they play, like how much it takes a toll on their lives. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, like their daughter, well, actually, Roger's daughter, kind of seeing the older one, like how Roger was never home, and now the younger ones, like, he's in their life and stuff. So that was interesting to see.
Yeah, definitely.
So. And I'll edit this out, but man, his daughter is fucking hot. Holy shit.
She's really pretty.
She's fucking retarded hot. So, moving right along. So, okay, so let's talk music.
Okay.
We're going to, actually, you know what? Let's do movies. We'll finish up with music.
Sure.
I love so many movies. This was another thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it was really
year.
hard to pick. I don't even know if I love my list because I just couldn't pick, but I'm happy with it. It is what it is.
Good. So a lot of shit came out. I still love going to the movie theaters. I like seeing shit at home just for the convenience, but nothing beats the movie theater.
No.
Sure.
Yeah.
I love it.
Me
I
too.
will go Saturday during the day by myself. I will eat all the fucking popcorn. I love it. I still love it. So, top 5 movies of 2018. We'll start with Langan.
My number 5 was 8th Grade.
I've been told I got to watch that.
Yeah, it was really, the reality aspect of it. It's not everybody in the movie, aren't like the girl that I can't remember her name that played the main girl in it and stuff. So natural, like a normal person. But any movie that does like coming of age stories, but it's really could take place in any generation because there's those certain things that are universal about growing up, that if it was the 70s or 2000, no matter, if there's cell phones or this, you take away all that shit. There's certain things about coming up when you're that age that make you cringe and uncomfortable. Or,
That's how I felt about Lady Bird last year.
Yeah, perfect example. And this one just it felt so real. It was fantastic.
Yeah, I gotta
Good
watch
stuff.
that.
Yeah.
I hear it's good.
Yeah.
Number 5, Kelly.
And, I feel like a lot of people might disagree with me on this one, but I really liked Quiet Place.
I
really liked it.
I didn't hate it.
Yeah, I didn't hate it.
Yeah,
I just remember a lot of people
were like,
talking shit about it, but I just thought it was something different. You
Yes.
know what I mean? It wasn't the same stuff that was coming out. I jumped, when they snatched that kid off the bridge like that. I thought it was really good. I thought the acting was good.
Yeah.
I cried when what's his name from The Office, sacrifices himself.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Yep.
I really enjoyed
Well,
it.
for
was a good
me,
movie.
yeah, like I watched it and I was like, oh, this is good. It just seemed like the middle of something. Like there was the beginning of the story and then more to the ending. I just felt like it was like the middle of a trilogy.
Yeah. But that's why I kind of liked it. I liked that they didn't need to do too much explaining, and I liked that they kind of left it kind of open-ended.
Yeah. Like I said, I liked it. I put it on. I was just like, oh, that's good.
I think he's writing the sequel right now, actually.
Well, because it
Why
made,
not?
open for a
it
sequel,
made
yeah.
a
Shitload of money.
bazillion dollars.
Yeah.
Yep.
And she's hot, so I'll fucking watch her on anything. Fucking Mary Poppins, bring it on.
Mary Poppins.
Yeah, that's what she's doing next.
And
Is
those
she?
two,
Yeah.
those two are married in real life too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Her and John Krasinski.
Emily Blunt.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is that the girl from Sicario?
The first one, I think she was in the first one.
Yeah,
was
yeah.
she?
Yes.
Yeah.
The first
Yes.
one, that was the good one.
The good one,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, they did that like
That was disappointing.
they did
second
that
one.
detour. Yeah, I couldn't add it to the list. It was good, but
Yep.
Number 5, Parker.
All right, number 5. I did Unsane.
Yeah.
Good one.
Cool movie. So, out of my whole 5 movies, actually 4 of them were all rentals, and only one of them was actually in the movie theater. But neither here nor there. But like I said with this list, I don't remember why I loved this movie. I think it was because of all the twists and the turns, and then finally when you start to understand what's going on.
Did you see it?
Yeah, it's on my list too.
Okay.
And I think I have to agree with you. I don't know why I liked it so much, but the way it was shot and
Yeah.
just how weird it was.
I loved it, and I'll tell you why. For me, it made my top 5 of horror movies, but not overall movies. Steve Soderbergh shot it on a fucking iPhone.
Yeah.
Amazing. The fact that like you could fucking do that, and it was a really good story because I had no idea. And if you haven't seen it, now's the time to shut off. But you think she's going crazy, and then when you find out that she's not,
Yeah, definitely.
and then you're like, holy shit! And then the guy
the
that
fucking orderly.
Oh, such
yeah.
a creeper.
he was so
Yeah.
he was great.
Yeah, he was great.
I loved it. I definitely one of the in my top 10 for 2018. Didn't make my top 5, but just unbelievable, completely. Just I shot it on a fucking iPhone.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Like that's bananas to
Yeah.
me.
Well,
You know,
Sell that shit to Netflix,
Yeah.
They'll fucking pick it up.
I'm sure it'll get there soon. So all right, so number 5, Unsane. For me, Halloween. I know we didn't really get into the discussion because we've done so many things since then. So yeah, we didn't really even talk about Halloween or how we felt about it. I don't know if anyone has it on their list.
I do.
Okay. I probably maybe because I went in thinking nothing. I just wanted it to be better than Resurrection.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted it to be better than 5.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew it wasn't going to be better than 1 and 2.
Right.
It just wasn't.
Of course not.
It just
Right.
wasn't. Number 4, probably not, because 4 is fucking pretty good. 3, I'm not counting. I think, I don't know.
I always
I
stick
think-
up for 4 and 5.
I
No,
think this
no.
5 is
clearly came in
indefensible.
as the third best entry in
Yeah.
the series. I think they did their job as good as they could do. Because, like you said, I didn't anticipate it taking place of the first or second
Yeah.
that I loved, but it's great. It's the best, attempt at redoing that story that they've
Yeah,
done so far.
I
Yeah.
The
agree.
Jamie Lee Curtis angle was great.
Yeah, definitely.
Although I do think it's kind of, and I think it just made it on my nostalgia 5 for sure, because I could think of other movies that were better. But I was just like, man, I couldn't wait to just go in there and like mentally hug these
course.
characters and be like,
And even the font on the title
Yeah.
screen
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
is the same
Yep.
looking pumpkin. And
Yeah,
You
and
know,
like
it's
And all
great.
the throwbacks to the other movies
Yep.
and everything else.
all
it
the
was
Easter eggs
amazing.
were fun.
Yeah.
But why they took it from 1 instead of 2 when a lot of the similarities were there, you know? Yeah, I don't know.
I thought it was
Fast.
interesting. Well, I think because they want to, I mean, clearly they're not done. They're going to, keep going and making more. But that's
Yeah, he wanted McBride and David Gordon Green wanted to do 2 movies, so they wrote 2 movies. But what happened was they said, "What if this bombs?" And then we're stuck doing a second movie. So they were like, "All right,
We'll
fuck
be
it."
Rob Zombie.
Yeah. So they kind of pulled away from that idea, and I think they condensed the 2 into 1.
Right.
So, number 4.
Number 4 for me was a documentary called 3 Identical Strangers. I don't know.
well,
Everybody see it?
I didn't see it, but I heard about it.
It's hard for me to talk about because there's a twist in it that's really big. But basically, the gist of the story is these 3 guys, who are separated at birth, and through mutual people, they realize, oh, I have a friend that looks just like you, and they find each other somehow, and their backstory on why this happened. It just, I'd like anybody to see it because it's definitely the best documentary of the year by far. And I just don't want to say too much if anyone's listening that would want to see it, because if I tell you what it is, it'd give it away. But it's shocking where they go with the story, where it ends up between just some reuniting story versus where it ends up is shocking.
Very cool.
Great movie.
Cool. So number 4, Kelly?
So my number 4 was Unsane, but I'm just going to throw something else in there
Sure.
because I loved it, and it wasn't on my list originally, but I really liked Bohemian Rhapsody. Did anyone go and see
I
it?
didn't see it.
I wanted to mildly, and everyone that I spoke to didn't really jumpstart that for me.
I went in, again, with low expectations because I was like, but
Those
honestly...
biopics are usually whack.
Yeah, but you know what? I really like what's his name? Remy Malek.
Oh,
I really like him. I don't know. The story, it hit me. You know what I mean? I don't know. I just connected with it, and I just thought the performances were really good, and it was just it showed me more about Queen than I really knew, like how they created the albums, and I just thought it was really interesting. So I'm gonna throw that on
I
my
am
list.
definitely going to see it.
Yeah, I really recommend it. I really liked it a lot.
Very cool. Parker?
All right, number 4, I did You Were Never Really Here.
Nice.
Pretty dark movie. It reminded me
Really
about
dark.
a lot about like Taxi Driver-ish. Joaquin Phoenix plays this this Vietnam vet that's kind of still fucked up in the head, but he's not really doesn't have fear of anything, so he kind of helps missing children, goes on hunts with them, and it kind of came out of nowhere. I didn't think I was gonna like that as much as I did, but that was my number 4.
He had
I'm a
good
big fan of
year,
him.
Joaquin. That
Yeah,
other
Joaquin,
movie,
yeah.
He won't get far on foot. The
Yeah.
other movie he did this year was fantastic.
I
as
heard,
well.
I heard that was good. I wanted to see that.
Very
I heard
good.
that was
Yep.
good.
Yeah, it's still on my list. I got to watch that.
Yeah.
That one. Number 4 is a movie that we showed at Cinema Arts Center as a double feature, and it's just a brutally violent, unapologetic movie. We had the director Damien Leone on the show. Terrifier. Just fucking brutality.
Yeah.
Brutality. If you want a slasher movie that isn't trying to be anything other than a slasher movie, this is the movie to watch. It's and another
key
thing,
to a
like
slasher, you got to have that interesting kind of charismatic villain
Art.
character, and Art, like a legend was born.
I'll tell you
Art
this.
shirts everywhere now, and
Yeah,
everywhere.
in the last 15, 20 years, aside from Jigsaw, who else has there been that made this much of an impact?
Yeah, no, definitely not. I mean, he's
Can't
just
think of
he's
anybody.
terrifying.
He's terrifying.
Yeah.
You see him, the teeth, just everything about him was just like A Star Is Born. So I can't wait for the sequel. So Langan, number 3.
My number 3 is Sorry to Bother You.
Yeah,
so fucking good.
Yeah.
Still haven't
Did I
seen that.
steal one?
That was
number
good.
1.
That was
Okay.
good.
We'll jump in anytime. I just
Yeah,
love.
it was so good. And the
dystopian-
ending, really?
Yeah.
You just don't expect that at all. I didn't think it was going to be that kind of movie at all.
I didn't expect anything from that
No,
movie. That was like a
me
fucking.
neither.
I love. It had that dystopian, absurdist kind of surrealist view, but it seemed like it. with like movies like Brazil and stuff like that are one kind of dystopian movie. This movie had like its foot grounded in reality, kind of like where society is now and jobs that people have. And I got the shit kicked out of you could be a show coming out in the next fall season.
Oh yeah,
We're there.
Definitely.
You know
the
I
fact
mean?
that they have that and just like the way the class
Yeah.
system, I just thought it was so different, and just
Fantastic.
it was so good.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought the acting was great.
Yeah, I
so
can't,
good.
I can't believe it. And also Boots Riley from the band The Coop
Yes.
made the movie, as well as I think he has a band with Tom Morello. I forget. I think they do a lot of music together.
I believe it. Tom Morello's got a lot of bands.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
So, all right, Kelly, number 3.
Well, my number 3 was Halloween, so I feel
Okay.
like all my movies are on everyone else's list.
I mean, that
means they're
it's gonna
good
happen.
picks,
Yeah. So, anything you want to add to that?
I'm just about the movie itself.
Yeah.
I mean, well, kind of like what you were saying. I didn't really have expectations going in, but I think it's on my list because I was so excited about it, and I really liked it. I know a lot of people disagree.
Yeah. Well, they're gonna bash everything.
Yeah, but I really liked the Jamie Curtis aspect of her being this like shut in and like training for the end of the world because Michael Myers is coming, and even just like the scene when she's standing outside the school, which is reminiscent to when he's standing outside.
That
the
was
school.
very cool.
It really, I thought that was like
cool.
one of my favorite scenes in the movie. You
Yes,
know, it was something so small.
Little
I just
things
thought that
like that.
detail was so cool.
Yeah,
you
because
know?
it's for the fan.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
It's for the fan where you're just like,
Oh, they gave us a gift. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's that's what it
Yeah.
feels like.
Yeah.
It makes you feel very connected to the movie.
Yep.
So
Parker, number, I don't know,
3. Number 3, I had to go comedy. I had to bring my boy fucking Bateman into it, so I did fucking Game Night.
that was a
was
good
good.
one.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed that.
That was a lot of fun,
Yeah, I
that
like
movie. So
I didn't expect much from that one.
no,
either, and I
me
was
either.
surprised.
I was like, it's Bateman. I
Yeah.
can fucking watch him in anything, but
Right.
I had some good
It
laughs.
goes some
Yeah.
interesting places.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So quite enjoyable.
my number 3. Hold on a second. So my number 3 is from a first-time filmmaker, French woman. I believe she's a French woman, and it's called Revenge.
Yep.
And
was a good one.
just boy, the direction, the cinematography. Certain stories are simple, and this is a simple story. Like you take a movie like Mandy, which didn't make my list. Visually, Mandy was insane, and the story was simple. It was completely just there was nothing to it.
No.
This was the same thing. It was a rape revenge, but everything around it was bananas.
Yeah.
Holy shit. This movie, like the director that did the movie Drive and all those other movies, the colors that he uses,
Yeah.
that's what this movie looks like. And it's a roller coaster ride. Once it starts going, it's on Shudder right now. And holy shit, this is one of the best movies I've ever seen. I can't say enough about Revenge. Very, very good. First time female director too, and French. So that's
Yeah.
my number 3, Revenge.
Nice.
Check it the fuck out.
I have to say the only thing that bothered me, because I can, suspend disbelief for a lot of things, but come on, she's impaled by like a tree and she keeps going. I was just like, oh man, come on.
Yeah.
But it still was great. It didn't ruin it for me, but I was a little.
I feel you.
Somebody said that it was probably a dream sequence, like after, like kind of what she imagined she would do.
Okay.
So and I was like, oh, that's interesting. But the last act,
Oh yeah.
holy
Crazy.
shit, was just
Absolutely crazy.
bonkers, unbelievable. Langan.
My number 2 was The Death of Stalin, which sounds, I don't know if anybody see that one.
No.
I
Okay.
heard about it actually.
It's
I
a
didn't
comedy.
see it though.
It's got
Sounds
a great
it.
cast. Yeah, obviously. Buscemi's in it, Jeffrey Tambor, Michael Palin, a lot of people. Basically, it's written by the people that write the show Veep. I don't
Okay.
know if you-
Yeah.
which I think is brilliant.
Yeah,
it's
it's a
great,
brilliant
even
show.
if you're not in the politics. It's just the dialogue just snaps. And this is written the same exact way. It just happens to take place after Joseph Stalin died. And it's a power struggle between all the people that were in the government at that time. But it's a comedy. It's funny as hell. And the writing is brilliant. I wouldn't be surprised if it wins an Oscar for writing this year.
Very cool.
great movie.
Cool. Number 2, Kelly?
I liked Black Klansman a lot. Did anybody see
I haven't
that?
seen
saw
that
it.
yet.
Yeah.
I heard
Still
it's
gotta
great.
see that,
though.
Yeah, I thought it was great.
And the fact that it's based on a true story.
True
How
story.
cool is that?
Yeah.
You know, I didn't know that going in, so I thought that was awesome after I watched it.
Yeah, it's
find
fun
that
to
out.
do a lot of research like after the movie to see
Definitely. Always.
how much of that holds up. Adam Driver was great.
And it's Denzel's kid,
Denzel's
which is
kid,
even cooler.
very cool.
Yeah, it's so cool. He did a great job.
Definitely.
Loved it.
Um,
Yeah, I didn't hear a lot of people talking about it. And I was
Denzel's
surprised.
kid, I forgot about
Right?
that. That's great, too.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
great, though. I loved it.
Parker, number 2?
Number 2, I picked a movie that same thing, another roller coaster. I was rooting for the fucking guy this entire movie, and it was called Upgrade. That was a lot. That was a lot of fun. That movie. So
Definitely.
reminded me like a lot about kind of like Total Recall-ish. You know, the guy doesn't remember. Like
That's my number 2.
Yeah, he doesn't know how he's doing these things, and it was fucking awesome.
Yo,
Real good.
it's fucking so good. It's
Yeah.
my number 2. Did you see it?
I did, and I gotta say, I think I need to watch it a second time.
You watched it, too?
But I wasn't that into it. I think I gotta have to give it a second chance, though.
Yeah.
I think I really do.
Well, yeah, I don't know. It's just like the fight scenes. I don't know. It was just, it worked.
Yeah.
Like the sneeze thing that guy
Yes.
did. And I'm looking at this. I remember watching it. Like I ordered it from Amazon, and I'm sitting at home watching it, and I think to myself, how is this movie? And I get it. It costs money to throw it in a theater, but there's so many shitty movies out in theaters,
Yeah.
and I'm
Yeah.
watching this because it doesn't get a theatrical release, and it was just so fucking good. I'm like,
Yeah.
how did this little
I know,
movie
just slipped through.
and the budget must have been nothing,
No,
but
probably
it
not.
looked great.
Yes.
Yeah.
It looked great.
It did look really good.
Ah. But yeah, that's my number 2 as well.
Good one.
Cool. Number 1.
My number 1 was First Reformed.
I still haven't seen that. People love that.
It's a heavy movie. It's not light viewing, you know. But Ethan Hawke's another one that's having a great, you know,
Comeback.
second
Second
act or
act, yeah,
whatever we
yeah,
say. Like
he
he's done
is.
a lot of quality shit in the past few years. But it's just a very reflective movie on life, death, the universe, your place in it, faith, all kinds of stuff. It's a heavy movie. It'll make you think. It's a thinking piece, but takes some really interesting turns that I can't share because you haven't seen it. And
You haven't seen it.
It had a profound effect on me. Like a kind of movie that sits with you for a little while after you see it.
I think that was an
you know?
A24 movie as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is fantastic, and Ethan Hawke was brilliant in it. I highly recommend it.
He is having a really good second half.
Yeah.
And it's what
He was
happens.
in Boyhood.
Boyhood
movie
was such a cool concept.
Yeah.
And I think it's the power of getting divorced.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he got divorced from fucking Uma Thurman, and now he gets to do whatever he wants.
That's it.
So
You've explained it.
I think so.
Figured it out.
Yeah.
My number 1 was Sorry to Bother You.
There you
That
go.
was my number 1. Yeah. I
Yeah.
loved it. I know we already talked about it, but I did. I really
That's
loved
great.
it.
My number 1 was Halloween. So moving right along.
No, okay, nothing dead, nothing.
No, I mean the same thing. Like I liked, the two kind of whatever quote unquote Easter eggs that I caught was the scene that you said, when they pan outside and she's standing there rather than Michael Myers. And I did catch, there was one house that they showed a couple trick or treaters at, and I'm not 100%, but it looked like a couple of the kids were wearing silver shamrock masks.
They were.
They
Yeah,
were.
they were.
So there you
Yeah.
go.
Also, another fun thing was the teacher in that classroom was PJ Souls.
Yes, which is
Oh.
awesome. Yep.
Yeah, very cool.
Love that.
All right, so my number 1 is on Netflix, and I discussed this movie a bunch of episodes ago, and it's When We First Met with Adam Devine from Workaholics.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Alexandria Daddario. She is just disgustingly hot, but aside from that,
It's a great movie.
It's
I
a great
loved it.
movie, right?
Yeah,
Wasn't
I loved
it just
it.
like
I was surprised. I
Me
was like,
too.
this is gonna be like whatever, and I was like, this is really, really
well, the first
good.
30 minutes is just like, okay, I get it, and it's funny, and without giving it away, you're led to believe that everything, like, all these tropes are going to happen, these romantic comedy tropes,
Yep.
and none of them did.
No, none of them did.
None of
which
them
I liked,
do.
which I
And-
loved. That
yeah,
they
and
didn't
it's just
do
like,
that.
oh, okay, that's interesting. Best movie I saw this year.
Yeah.
Super creative.
It was great.
Time travel. Very smart. Like, very fucking smart.
And Adam Devine's he's just like he's kind of a crazy like comedic actor. He's really good.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, I don't want to compare him to Jim Carrey, but just like the facial expressions
Yeah.
and just like the craziness of him, like it's a little reminiscent of Jim Carrey, if that makes sense.
And that show, Workaholics, is so good.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I haven't
They're-
seen.
Really, it's one of those shows that I didn't really give
Obviously,
a shit about.
I don't
Yeah.
watch TV, I guess.
You're waiting to binge. It's over now, so you can start.
I'm going to be sitting on my deathbed
Watch-
one day
watch-
when I finally stop working.
If you don't want to do Workaholics,
it's time
watch,
to catch up.
watch Game Over, man, because that's the same guy as just in a movie.
Yeah? Okay.
So,
I got to write all this shit down.
Oh yeah, that's another one.
Yeah.
I didn't get. That's the second movie that they released.
Yeah.
So those guys are working pretty hard. All right. So in closing, we're gonna do our favorite albums of the year.
Yes.
A lot of records. I had 40 albums to fucking.
I
So
might have been at 60 at one
it,
point.
it was the most bananas year for
people,
music.
people of men and women of a certain age, just stop saying that there's no good music coming out anymore.
Stop.
If you're one of those people, I'm gonna slap the
Yeah.
shit out of you. Just
Like
open your ears, or maybe you just don't love music that much to begin with.
you
Because
don't.
it's out there.
It's out
Yeah.
You
there.
know, there's a lot to sort through.
There
But that's
is.
what we're here for.
that's right.
So
And
you don't have to
Spotify.
waste your own time.
We're
We're
here
going to
for
tell you what
Spotify.
to listen
Yeah.
to.
All right, let's kick it off. Number 10.
10 for me was Black Queen's Infinite Games.
Oh, very nice.
But guys from Dillinger Escape Plan,
Yep.
the singer, who I don't like that band
Me
whatsoever.
either.
They're very talented, but so technical and no groove whatsoever.
you.
That's why I don't like them. But this album's like very much in the vein of Depeche Mode, Cure. It's kind of like what Chino from the Deftones did with that Crosses band, the
Yep.
Team Sleep, kind of, softening it up, and it works. I mean, it reminds me of Depeche Mode Violator era, and it's great.
I think they're playing Vitus soon too. Actually, I think
Probably
they just
fun not to
announced that.
scream and go nuts for,
it's
a while now.
way better than Dillinger Escape Plan.
I agree.
In my book, but hey.
What? How many records do you have?
I have 7.
All right, so we'll catch you. We'll
8,
catch
I
you
guess.
there.
Yeah,
We'll catch you at
yeah,
the 8.
catch me there.
Number 10.
Number 10, I did the new Alice in Chains, Rain or Fog.
I gotta listen to that
yeah,
one. Yeah.
It was good. I mean, it's the third album. I mean, you can't even really call the guy the new singer anymore. But I think the guy does a fucking great job. I mean, I know that there's a lot of people that had,
as long as Jerry Cantrell's there.
Yeah,
it's
a
happening.
lot of
Jerry
people.
Cantrell wrote
He's the best.
everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot
I
of
love
pe-
Lane, but you
Yeah,
know.
a lot of people were hesitant with this guy. I mean, the first time that I saw him, I watched some fest that they played in Europe, and the fucking guy blew it out of the water. I mean, he was doing songs from Dirt, hitting fucking higher octaves than almost Lane Stanley did. So I'm serious.
I'm just laughing because you said it's Lane Stanley. It's Lane Stanley.
Ah, same shit. I was thinking of Paul Stanley, maybe.
Nah, he hits notes.
Yeah, he's hot in the shade. That guy.
All right, so my number 10, I got to do an honorable mention because it didn't make it, but the Get
come
Up
on.
Kids put out 4 songs, and it's 4 of the best songs that they've done in a while, and we had Matt Pryor on the show, so shout out to those guys for still doing it. Great shit. So my number 10 is a producer that was killing it album after album this year. DJ Muggs and Mayhem Loren put out a hip-hop record called Frozen Angels, and it would have been higher up, but it wasn't as good as the last one.
No, it wasn't.
So it made my number 10, DJ Muggs, Mayhem Loren, Frozen Angels.
It's hard to top that list.
Yeah.
My number 9, Jedi Mind Tricks, The Bridge in the Abyss. Vinny Paz killing it. I actually like Vinny on this record more than his solo record.
Me too.
Solo
Everyone
record was
does.
okay.
It just
But
this
some
was
of the production was like,
he took more chances on the solo.
Sean Price is on there.
Yeah.
Czarface is on
Yeah.
there. It fucking kills like all Jedi Mind Tricks stuff. Number 9.
Number 9. So Parker, number 9.
Number 9, I did Iron Reagan, Dark Days Ahead.
Nice.
Just straightforward, just like the last one. Just if you like fucking dirty thrash, I mean, it's a singer of Municipal Waste. It's the drummer of Darkest Hour. I mean, it's just straightforward.
If
There's
Municipal Waste is too metal for you,
yeah,
and you want a little more punkish crossover, that's what Iron Reagan comes out
Pretty
in
much.
my book.
Yeah. Absolutely. My number 9 album of the year is fucking just a band that came back hard. Judas Priest, Firepower.
Yeah.
This record is the record I enjoyed the most from their catalog since Painkiller. Painkiller was super metal, loved it. This one came, and it's only Rob Halford and 4 other dudes.
Yes.
But all these
Wait,
songs...
Ian Hill's still in there, isn't he?
Is
bass
he?
player.
Oh, maybe Ian Hill and like Richie Faulkner and a few.
Yeah, that's it.
But yeah, this record's just fucking metal. Like, you fucking hit it, and just like the melodies are great. Just great fucking songwriting. If you want a real deal fucking vintage metal record, listen to Priest, Firepower. So
agreed.
Number 8.
8 for me was Ghost prequel.
Nice.
Prequel. Did I say
do
that?
it.
What's that?
I just can't do it.
What do you mean?
I'm trying.
You're not into them?
I try.
You know what?
I want to
wasn't
be into them for the
a while,
merch.
But the merch game's A+. It's awesome. You know, there's a lot of people that don't like this band, and again, it's all because what they're labeled as, because of what they look like. You know, they get on the metal pages. No, the metal. Who gives? What are you, 13 years old? About what it's called? Is it good or not? And they write great hooks, great songs.
Yeah.
Rats, that single that
So
came
catchy.
out was so catchy. It was like, that would be like, that's as poppy as like I get.
Yeah.
I would consider that like a pop rock song, but they
It
sound like Blue Oyster Cult. They sound
Well,
like that arena rock, and they're so good for rock and roll that they're playing these arenas.
Yes, they are.
And bringing that kind of show to it.
Yep.
It's good for everybody.
Their live show looks bananas.
Yes.
Like, and Tobias was on Eddie Trunk's show, and he said that he wanted a band that sounded like Kansas, devil worshiping Kansas. And I was like, you know what?
He got it.
I'm like, yo, bingo.
Yeah.
Completely. That's exactly what it sounds like.
Yeah. I think it's from people that were going into it with an idea of what they should sound like, and they don't sound like that band. They're not like a funeral doom band. They're not Portal playing crazy death metal.
No.
But I love it. It's great shit.
Number 8, Kelly.
Okay, actually, no, I have 7, so you guys go around.
All right, there you go.
Sorry.
Number 8, I chose this band called Old Wounds. I think it's their second album. It's called Glow. They're from New Jersey. And definitely dark, kind of gothy. Definitely a bunch of kids wearing makeup, bringing that shit back. I actually played with them last year when I played that Obnoxious Noise Fest thing with Sky Came Falling. And they were great. They were great live. Album's really good. So, Old Wounds.
My number 8 is Apathy, and the record is The Widow's Son.
That's my number 3.
I'll tell you this. As far as lyricism goes, I don't think there's a better hip-hop record that came out this year.
Totally.
I don't think, like, if you could say whatever the production's still tight, but as far as lyricism,
yeah, the wordplay is
it's
ridiculous.
Just like, let me see, the song I Keep On.
Yes.
Pete Rock did the beat. Pharoah Monch is on the track. There's a song called Hypnosis. I mean, like,
AG makes an appearance on
yo,
there.
it's, if you want, like, I'm telling you, there's no hip hop record this year that I heard that lyrically
He always brings it, but this is his best work, I think.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that was my number 3.
that's number 8. So Langan 7.
7. Carpenter Brute, Leather
Nice.
Teeth.
Fucking nice.
There's a
You
lot
guys
of good.
totally left before Ministry, didn't you?
Fuck yeah.
Oh,
Actually, no, one song.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, you didn't see Ministry?
Nah.
Oh my God.
That's what happens when you go for the first 2 openers.
There was a lot of good synthwave this year. Perturbator put out a great album. Ghost put out a great album. There was a lot of stuff. There's a lot to wait because the market's saturated with synthwave acts right now.
Yeah.
But Carpenter Brute's a great bridge of rock, metal with synthwave. You know,
Yeah, they're heavier.
if you're looking to dip your toe into that
Yeah.
synthwave pool, they're a good crossover band. The music sounds like a soundtrack to a '80s movie, Terminator, or some fucking trauma movie. It just captures that. It's a horror, electronic crossover. It's great. It's the best synthwave album of the year. A lot of people like Gunship. I wasn't as big into Gunship. I thought this was the superior album of the year. But
Shit. 7, Kelly.
7 for me. I chose The Internet, Hive Mind, which was their
Sure.
new album. I don't know if you guys have
Yeah,
ever.
yeah,
They're
yeah.
like such a weird band, but I don't know. I really like
It's
them.
Odd Future people.
Yeah.
Well, I think only Sid. I think only the female might be in The Internet.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure.
Okay.
But I know I had a friend introduce them to me like a year ago, and I just really like this new album they put out. I don't know. They just have a very different sound. They're
Very
not trying
different.
to sound like other people, and it's just, I don't know. It's very like R&B-ish, but different. I don't know how to I guess, really categorize it, but I don't know, something
Super
I really enjoyed.
talented,
Yeah,
yeah,
really
definitely.
talented
Yeah.
group of people for sure.
Youngsters.
Yes, youngsters.
Cool. Number 7.
Yeah, 7. I think it's my only death metal pick, but it was by the band Terrorizer,
Great
Caustic
one.
Attack.
That was a good album.
Yeah, and that Pete the Feet Sandoval from Morbid Angel fame definitely brought it back into that, and that was something that I found through Spotify, through the new releases, and I gave it the first spin, and I was hooked in fucking right off the bat, just mainly from the drumming, and just it's fucking intense, man.
Cool. What am I up to? 6 or 7? Oh, I'm up to 7. For me, the Sidekicks put out a record called Happiness Hours, and it has one of my favorite singles of the year, Twins Twist. This band sounds kind of like the Shins, only a little happier. And they put out one hell of an indie rock record. It's fucking phenomenal. Just hooks, guitar work, just so goddamn good. Check out the Sidekicks for Happiness Hours. Number 6.
My number 6 was Immortals, Northern Chaos Gods. My black metal entry to the charts here. But Immortal, been around a long time. Legends of Norway. Abbott, their charismatic frontman, left the band, put out an amazing solo record
That was a
last
pretty good
year.
record.
Nobody had any expectations for this band to do shit after Abbott left, and they made. Now we have 2 great bands that,
Yeah.
are on the same kind of tip.
A
But
lot of people are feeling that record.
great comeback record. It's killer, and it's black metal for sure, because I know a lot of people ain't feeling black metal, but it's accessible. Like Abbas' album was accessible a little bit. It
Very
wasn't
much
like
so.
off
Yeah,
the
yeah.
wall
Yeah,
crazy
no.
shit. So Immortal, great comeback record.
Cool. Number 6,
Nice.
Kelly?
I have to go with Sheer Terror, Paul and the Family. I know it's a short record,
Yeah,
but they're just sheer terror, and they're not straying away from who they are. It's a hard record, and I just think it sounds good. Met my expectations.
Nice.
Yeah.
Those are my roommates at the studio that I'm heading to after I leave here.
Nice.
Number 6.
Right? 6, I actually checked out this band because they're actually touring with Primitive Weapons right now, and it's this band called Cult Leader.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And the album's called The
That
Patient.
just came out, right?
Yeah, Patient Man, and it's pretty fucking intense. I mean,
It is good.
Death Wish put it out, so Death Wish kind of has their own little, flavor of what they sound. So I mean, it's loud and it's noisy and it's kind of chaotic, but big fan. So
For me, this is another one of those bands that's like super influential in my band sound. So the Get Up Kids put out a record this year. My number 1 put out a record this year, and this band Superchunk put out a record, What a Time to Be Alive. And it's just everything that I love about music. Everything that I want my band to sound like is Superchunk. Saw them. They were one of my favorite shows that I saw this year at Bowery Ballroom. A band that's been around for almost 30 years, and they still make great records, and just recently released a single after the record called Our Work Is Done. And on the chorus, it features Damien from Fucked Up. So that's another awesome release. But Superchunk is one of my favorite bands of all time, and this record fucking kills. Just like guitars and melodies. It's so fucking good.
Nice.
Number 5.
My number 5 was DJ Muggs, another appearance here, the Soul Assassins album he did.
Yeah.
Day of the Dead, I believe.
Yep.
I'm not going to pronounce the Spanish title because she'll fucking make fun of me. It'll come out horrible.
I was trying.
But so dark. The beats on
Very
there
dark.
are ridiculously dark. Ray Kwan makes an appearance. Mayhem Lauren, of
Yep.
course. Cool G Rap and
Yep.
MF
Nice.
Doom kill it. Muggs just owned the year in hip hop as far
Yeah.
as I'm concerned. He
Yeah,
could do
he-
no wrong, and he's one of the best doing it right now. And it's a various artist kind of thing. Everybody dropping shit over his beats. I'm not really feeling some of the Raekwon tracks as much as some of the other ones, but it's great if you like dark hip hop. Like,
And you know
this
what
is it.
his worst release was this year? Funny enough,
Which
Cypress Hill.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
like I had enough. Of
Yeah. I don't know why. I wanted to love it, and some of the tracks, because it's the first record he
He's
produced
keeping
in a
his
while.
good beats for
I
himself.
guess so. You know what it is?
Can
They,
have
they,
the
they went a
leftovers.
little.
I
Yeah, they
didn't
went a
love
little
it.
left field. So,
Yeah.
number. What are we up to?
5.
Yes, we're up to number 5. Actually, you know what? It's funny because now I have one I want to add, but I guess I won't. I wanted to add the Master Ace and Marco Polo album, Brooklyn
yeah.
Story.
So good.
I thought it was so good.
Yeah.
I actually got
Amazing.
introduced from the I Am Rappaport podcast. I heard them play one of the songs off it on there, and I was like, and I checked out the
Michael-
album. It was so good.
It sounds
He
like
knows
an
his
old
hip-hop,
Gangstar
that guy.
record.
It does.
It's got
Yeah.
the
Well,
same
Marco
totally does.
Polo is just great, and
Yeah,
Master
he's
Ace
incredible.
is just. But Rappaport.
He's like 51, right? He still just brings it, man.
Yeah.
Rappaport knows his shit.
No
Yep,
doubt.
he totally does.
Fucking guy made the Tribe documentary.
Oh, one of my favorite
And he
documentaries.
named his son Maceo
Yep.
after De La Soul.
Yep.
Like, he's the real deal.
Yeah, he's the real deal.
He's the real
and
deal.
he's not full of himself either, which is what I love about
He's
that guy.
funny.
Yeah,
he's great. And he was in True Romance.
Yeah.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Favorite movie.
Parker, number 5.
Number 5, I chose this band called Alien Weaponry, and the album is called I guess it's 2TU, and they actually opened up. I saw them 2 weeks ago at Irving, and they opened up that Ministry show, and it's 3-piece, 2 brothers, and another kid. There's 2 16-year-olds and 1 18-year-old kid, and they fucking killed it. I mean, as a 3-piece, and they're from New Zealand, and they are actually from. They're from a tribe. They're related to this tribe. I'm not going to try and pronounce it or whatever. But they came out in the fucking war paint and did some, like, fucking war cry or whatever. And they had the fucking crowd going, man. I was just like, this ain't going to be good. And it was fucking great.
This ain't going to be good.
Yeah, you know? I was like, because this is going to be just like a Sepultura Roots, like, ripoff. And the fucking place would fucking ape shit for
Before
them.
you know it, you're at
Yeah.
number 5.
Dude, love it.
Before you know you're number 5. For me, this is the band that put out my favorite album of last year. Now they're at number 5 because it's a great record, but not as good as the last one. Nothing. Dance on the Blacktop. This band.
That is my number 1.
Yeah, this band is the embodiment of fucking My Bloody Valentine, Dinosaur Jr., and fucking Pink Floyd. It's just this fucking, like...
It's one of the best shoegaze. They're one of the best shoegaze bands ever at
it's-
this point. I know people. It's sacrilegious to mention them in breath with My Bloody Valentine because
No.
they're newer, but they're great.
Yeah.
If they came out during that early 80s shoegaze,
Yeah.
I mean early 90s,
They're there.
they would have blew the fuck
They're
up.
there. This record's amazing. They don't have a bad record. No, Tired of Tomorrow came out last year or 2 years ago. That was my favorite album of the year. A little bit more polished than this one, but this one, it's great.
They always find their way into my best ofs.
I guess
like
so.
every
yeah.
year, they
Every year.
consistently amazing.
Yeah,
that
like
band.
if I was falling out of a plane, this is what I want to listen to.
I get that.
You know what I'm saying?
Totally get it.
Like if I was,
Because it feels like it.
Yeah, it
It's
feels like
light
you're
and airy, like
falling.
all good
yeah,
shoegaze.
I
you
feel
know?
like the black dude in Get Out when she fucking hits that shit. You know,
Word, yep.
the sunken place.
Yeah, the Sunken Place.
All right. So what's your number 4?
High on Fire's Electric
Nice.
Messiah. Matt Pike had a busy year. The Sleep record. I'm not huge into some of that really slow, droney stuff. You got to have real time commitment to listen to like Sleep.
Yep.
You know, it's not you're gonna listen on a quick ride to the supermarket or whatever. It's a 20-minute song. But anyway, High on Fire. They remind me of like Motorhead. They're just this straight ahead, heavy, riffy rock metal band that just brings it consistently. And Matt Pike's a dirty son of a bitch like Lemmy. Just but this album I think is the best thing they've ever done.
People feeling it.
It rips.
I didn't really get a chance to soak it in.
Every
but
track's a ripper. It'll melt your face off. It's
Cool.
awesome.
nice.
Yep.
Number 4, Kelly.
I picked the Interrupters, Fight the Good Fight. I don't know if anyone's an Interrupters fan. They're like a ska band, have a very rancid kind of sound to them. It's actually Lars Fredrikson's son and his
shit.
wife are in the band.
Really?
Yeah, it's a female fronted band. She kind of almost
She was in
sounds.
the Distillers, right?
She sounds like her, but no, that's not her. That's
No,
that's the chick that
different.
was married to
Tim Armstrong.
Tim Armstrong.
Gotcha. Yes.
But no, they're really good. I mean, they're fresh and they're just very energetic and they have that awesome like ska punk sound that's not cheesy. It's just very like real and I'm a big fan of them and I like female fronted bands and they do it right.
Very cool.
There you
Very
go.
cool. Parker, number 4.
Number 4 is by a band that I was lucky enough to see last week, and that was Sick of It All, Wake the Sleeping Dragon.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
record's great.
Yeah,
Great
and,
show.
they were fucking crazy, man. I mean, where else can you see like 4 50-year-old men fucking jumping around like they're 18-year-olds.
Yeah.
So I mean, they sounded fucking
Yeah, they
great.
were
They still
incredible.
have all the fucking energy, and
Shout out to Jerry Farley, who recorded and produced that record.
there you go.
Nice.
You know?
All right, so my number 4 is a band that put out a record slowly, and I think they started dropping singles maybe last year into this year, and then they put out the record, and it's fucking great. A Perfect Circle, Eat the Elephant, has this record is dark, quiet, and so good, man. I fucking love it. I know.
I don't get it.
Yeah, I know. I know. Sometimes I mention it, but this record
I have
kills.
fuck with some Perfect Circle songs. Don't get me wrong. I'm a Tool guy. I
Yeah.
like Tool.
Yeah.
Just it's there, but it's not there. That's just doesn't do it for me.
I
know you like them better than Tool.
you know what it is, because I think these songs are just
Not
easy,
that you have to choose either, obviously.
No.
but
easier
it's just,
easier to digest. The melodies are great. It's just a dark, gorgeous record.
I'm always interested in anything Maynard's got going on, though.
This one
he's
kills.
a true artist.
So, number 3.
My number 3 was Apathy.
Okay.
Said it all.
Yeah.
Brought it.
Say no more.
Listen
fam.
on the way home tonight.
Yeah. Number 3, Kelly.
I picked Slapshot, Make America Hate Again.
Nice.
Just like again another album like their Slapshot, and they put out a great Slapshot album. You know, I mean, just they sound like they should, and I don't know, I just couldn't take it off my
disappointment.
no disappointment.
No
Couldn't take it off my repeat for a few
Nice.
days.
Like AC/DC. All right. So number 3, Parker.
3. I actually did Gunship, Dark All Day. I mean, shit, the Tim Capello sax solo off of that fucking
They got a lot of attention on
yeah,
that
just
one.
from that
Yeah,
single,
that
and I
was
was
a
just
smart
like,
move.
I was like,
That
oh.
was a smart
I
move.
was like, it
Fuck
hooked
yeah.
me, and I
That
was
was
like, here we go.
That was a smart move.
No doubt. That put them on like the front page. You know, people
You dig up the sax man
because the
from
sax
Lost
guy's
Boys.
a legend.
Yeah.
You know? Everybody knows the sax
Yeah.
man.
That was a great
SNL has parodied the
I
sax
feel like
man.
I feel like
Yeah.
that's where my record went wrong this year.
Yeah. I think he's on a
Okay.
Christmas sweater too, if I'm not
If
mistaken.
Yes,
you're
he
in doubt
does.
about the
Yeah.
current project you're in, get
Well,
the sax man.
Get the
I
sax-
guarantee
yeah.
you for the right price, he
Nah.
will come. I guarantee
I'm
it.
sure.
All right, so my number 3 is Jesus Christ, what a producer, Static Selecta, with this dude Millies from Boston, because that's where they're from. They put out a record called Saints and Sinners. I've listened to this record like every other day since it came out.
Yeah.
It's fucking fantastic.
It is really good.
It's so good, man. Songs like Frostbite, My Old Life.
I got to go back to it because it didn't grab me. But I love Static,
Yeah.
so I got to give it another
Yeah,
shot.
Yeah.
I
like
guess.
Millies
Yeah.
has a way, like he has great flow. It's nothing too complex, so it's easy to follow. But the beats just bang hard.
And they just draw you in.
Yeah, like if
Yeah.
you don't want to rob someone listening to this record, I don't know
Yeah.
what's wrong with you. It's for real.
That's
Like,
my requirement of any hip hop I like.
I
I
mean,
want to feel like
that's
Yeah.
honestly yes. Like
Yeah.
like some hardcore records make you want to
I'm
just
looking
punch
at
someone.
a convenience store. I want
Yeah.
to grab a piece and rob them.
It's not even a joke. I'm saying it for real. Like, you know, like when you go work out to like Hatebreed or whatever people
They all
do.
have to make me feel like Biggie's. Give me the loot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what I require.
This record
And
does it.
scratching.
This
too.
record
I
does
like
it for
that.
me. Yeah,
Or
scratching.
Mobb Deep.
Scratching for bonus.
Love this record. Saints and Sinners. Can't recommend it enough. That's my number 3. Your number 2.
My number 2 was Behemoth. I loved you at your darkest.
People hate on that record right now.
It's a great record because metalheads are assholes. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, no, I
and I'm a
noticed.
metalhead,
Yeah.
so I get to say it.
Yeah.
But there's so many dicks that just love to bitch about anything. You know what I mean? People don't like Dimmu Borgir because they're like popular in black metal. There's a certain degree of acceptance. If you get it, you suck now.
Yeah.
And Behemoth is big. They're as big as a death metal band.
Yeah. Especially with
could
the
be
imagery.
in this day and
Yeah.
age.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, their
It's
shirts
savage.
are sold in Hot Topic. That's how you know you're
they're
good.
out there,
Yeah.
and I love the makeup. I love the whole thing. That kind of puts them over the edge. It's a great record, and it's heavy as fuck to be as popular as they are. And I think, oh my God, you brought a little more melody into it. Oh Jesus, like how could you do that? You know, they're growing, they're maturing, they're changing. They're not going to be the same, bringing the same death
You already
metal
know how I
band.
feel about melody, so I'm in.
Yeah, it's a great record.
Nice.
You know,
Yeah.
but that's it.
Memorable. Number 2, Kelly.
My number 2 was also Sick of It All, like the
Sick.
Sleeping Dragon. And I have to say, like, there's some Sick of It albums that I won't be a huge fan of, but this one really like came back and
this
for
one
me.
came back hard.
It
Like,
really did. It has
there's
that
some really like I don't know. There's some like urgency to it. Like lyrically,
Crazy
it's on
White
point.
Boy. That's
it's a great song.
Yeah, it's they came back, and I feel like when you listen to that, it's like getting hit over the head with a mallet.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
A lot of urgency in that record.
Yeah.
So that was
Does it
your
make you want to rob
number
somebody?
2.
that was your number 2.
Fight
Yeah.
somebody.
Talked about that?
Yeah.
Fight somebody. That's all right.
Number 2 is definitely my lightest pick, and they're from Long Island, funny enough. When I was reading about this band, the bands that they were saying this album sounded like, I was like, I really don't like any of those bands. But then they mentioned Gin Blossoms. I was like, I like Gin Blossoms. So the band is called Somerset Thrower, and the album is Godspeed. And I saw them actually, I think, 6 weeks ago. They played at AMH, and I was floored. You know, just catchy melody.
Shout out to Frank.
Yeah, loved it. You know, so good shit.
Nice.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Great album cover too.
Yeah, that's
The Lindenhurst
Yep,
movie theater. So
And then the fucking video was great too. So
and Frank's got great taste in music. We
Yeah.
always talk about Guided by Voices. A young little man. My number 2 is my favorite hip hop record of 2018, Evidence, Whether or Not. Where Apathy had the lyricism, Static has the beats. This record has everything, but it's like I enjoy it fully. Evidence has a really interesting flow. It's very slow, methodical, but like the production was just great. And it's just from beginning to end, this record is moody. Like you could listen to this record from beginning to end.
It's a great record.
It's a great record.
I didn't have enough time with it.
Yeah.
I kind of got into him a little bit late. So,
Yeah.
if I did, it probably would have.
He's been doing stuff
higher.
forever.
Yeah.
Dilated Peoples,
Yep.
solo stuff too. I think this is his. He hit the peak with this record. I think this is the one, the album that he's been on that I've enjoyed the most. From the time I heard it in the beginning of the year till now, I could listen to it from beginning to end. It's still fucking great.
Nice.
Evidence, Whether or Not. Number 1 album.
My number 1 was Nothing.
Yeah.
It's a perfect record to me. I love every song on it. I love the shoegaze revival going on, and the shoegaze metal bands coming out, and because I was always a fan of that genre. Lush was one of my favorite bands back in the day. So
Yeah, this band brings all.
they're
that.
up there. I got to see them live. You seen them live, right?
Yeah.
I think. How was they?
Well, you know.
Dreamy,
Well,
airy.
let's just say you should
Did
see
you
them.
Float back
I'm just saying you could watch and make your own decision.
like Train.
I only saw them
Spotting when
once.
he's
I only saw them once, and maybe it was a
on off night.
yeah,
Okay.
but still, they're a great band.
Still made the number 1 album of the year.
Absolutely.
According to me.
So, number 1 for you, Kelly.
Alkaline Trio. Is this thing cursed?
Cool. So I'm going to
Yeah.
jump in too, because that's my number 1. But go ahead after you.
Oh,
I'll take a sip of my water.
Yeah, go right ahead. I mean, besides getting to see them, play songs off it, I just love the entire album. There's not one song on it that I don't absolutely love. To me, it's kind of flawless. I don't know.
It is very flawless, which is cool because My Shame Is True was great, but there were some clunkers on there. Everything else in like the last, this band could do no wrong.
Yeah.
They are arguably my favorite band current day. And this record came out, and the first single, for some reason when I listened to it, I was like, oh, this is good.
It didn't grab me.
It didn't grab me.
Yeah, at first, but then when I got to hear the whole album,
Yeah.
I was more and more excited, and then the more I played it, I got more and more excited.
Yeah,
I
and
don't
then I
know.
just listened to it nonstop,
Yeah.
like beginning to end. Not a fucking bad song. Dan's songs were really good.
Yeah,
like
really
Dan
good.
really killed it on this album
Yeah.
because they have 2 singers. It's great. My number 1 album of the year. Can't
So
say
good.
enough. Alkaline Trio. Is this thing cursed? It took him long enough, 5 years.
Yeah.
after he joined that shit. I still can't believe this isn't Blink-182.
It's so weird that he's in Blink-182.
I try. Have you
He
listened
wanted
to
to
the
play
record?
Firefest. That bad, probably.
I haven't heard them with him yet. I just don't really have, I guess, a desire
try.
to.
No, I don't. Neither do I. But out of curiosity,
Yeah.
And I put the record on, and it's just so bad.
Is it bad?
It's just
Yeah.
so bad.
I guess it doesn't surprise
It's so bad. Like I just don't even comprehend what's going on.
me.
Speaking of Firefest, they are making that documentary or
God, I can't wait.
docu-series.
Christmas came early.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see that. I had a morning show and we talked about just the awfulness that was that fest.
We
my
talked
God.
about it
Yeah.
too.
I couldn't stop talking about
Yeah.
it. I was obsessed with it.
We
All
talked-
the videos coming out of these people.
Well, and we also said that like one thing you should never mess with is rich people with money.
Oh yeah.
Because they'll lawyer up in a minute.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
everyone there that could afford to go to
Go
a
after Ja
destination show.
Yeah.
And Ja Rule was probably like, his boy was probably, yo, we're going to put together this thing. Let me just borrow your name.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
like, all right, fam, bet.
Yeah.
It'd be fun.
Yeah.
You don't even have to show up.
Yeah, exactly. I'll handle
What
everything.
the fuck?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Like the pictures there, it looked like the beginning of Day of the Dead.
Yeah.
Like just like the abandoned movie theaters.
I think they rescued them too soon.
Yeah.
I wanted some cannibalism. I was waiting for
Yeah.
some Lord of the
Lord of the
Flies
Flies thing.
situation.
Yeah.
Someone to get the conch shell.
Yeah.
You know, become like emperor of this island. You
Not
know?
leaving. Riding alligators to
There could
eat
be
mangoes.
a show. That's the show for Netflix, bro.
Yep.
That's what we do.
All right, we're going to save that one.
Put that down. Cut
Parker.
that out so no one steals that shit.
Yeah.
What's your
Don't
number
let it-
one album of 2018?
Number one is actually Langen's mentioned it. Carpenter Brut, Leather Teeth.
Yes.
So I went to my first synthwave show 2 weeks ago, and I had no fucking clue what to expect or whatever. And this band just blew me out of the water. It was a guy with 2 stacks of keyboards, a live guitarist playing like a flying V, and a live drummer. And it was like a fucking house party. I'd never seen so many different people from like punks to metalheads like dancing, you know, to this fucking type of music. And it was awesome. It was great. So, I mean, watching that, I went back and listened to the album. And, I mean, you know, the album, it's just one guy and he writes everything. He writes all the parts and then picks these guys to go on tour. But I was blown away. So
Yeah, all that stuff is
Carpenter
great.
Brut.
Yep.
Funny enough, like one of my favorite shows of this year was Ministry at the Paramount. And then last year I saw him at Riot Fest, and it was they blew me away. And the whole time he's posting that he's going to see this band, I'm like, they're not saying a word about Ministry,
No.
who's headlining.
Nope.
I'm like, I guarantee you these two are going to go watch these 2 other bands
Yep.
and leave before
Not a
fucking
fan?
Ministry.
Nah.
I mean, like, maybe if they opened with, like, Just One Fix, I would have hung out. But, like, I don't go past
Like,
that
I'm going to
album.
give you one song
Yeah.
to impress me.
What was the
I'm
other-
out.
What was that? That New World Order? Like, and I'm out.
That's a good record.
Yeah. I had Penn Station Pizza waiting for me.
Shout out to George W. Bush.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, not W. HW. Whatever the fuck.
Yeah, one of the two. So.
He killed it on that fucking drop.
He did. He
And
that
then
was
the
that was
He had,
Yeah.
like, the big,
that was
Guest
the big
appearance.
head thing. You know?
Yeah.
That
And
was
then the
his-
other guy threw up in the fucking sink in Just One Fix. So.
that was his verse of the year for sure.
Yeah.
All right, so another year is done. Another year of picks and shit. So I will, like I told you guys, I'm just gonna time code it. So if anyone is interested in like top 5 this, top 5 that,
Just it sounded like you said pigs and shit. Just gonna
Nice.
point that out. But all right.
if anyone's into pigs and shit, and that's it. Thanks, Kelly,
Yes,
for
thank you.
Thanks for having me.
coming
Thank you.
here and hanging out with us.
You guys are intimidatingly nerdy, so I was like, I really hope I can live up to the standard. So
Yeah, well,
it's a compliment.
yeah, of course.
I'll take it.
Check out the podcast Being There.
Yep.
And
Definitely.
what was the other WMAP?
Yeah, if you want to check it out, WMAPradio.com. It's on all the time, so you'll definitely hear my voice if you just keep on listening.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And then you can hear Casey and his crazy weird radio show that he does.
Nice.
Yeah,
I'm interested.
I mean, honestly, as Stern fans, like,
Yeah.
I grew up listening to him, so I feel very.
Okay.
I feel like I know
He
him.
Casey raised you.
Yo, tell Casey he raised me. So thank you,
Yes,
and
thank you.
that's it. And we'll see you in 2019 for God knows what the fuck. So, all right, off to practice.
Later.